Futures back in negative territory once again this morning, coming off disappointing earnings from Meta platforms, dragging down the NASDAQ overall. Big miss for Meta. We'll talk about the monthly active users. We'll talk about daily active users coming up here. Both numbers to the downside. Overall, it is the biggest report we have to get kind of past until Friday. Guys, remember, non-farm payrolls coming out 8:30 this time tomorrow morning for January, a key number that the Fed will be looking at heading into March as we get ready for that interest rate hike. As we said, Meta down 20% in the pre-market here following earnings, dragging down the likes of Twitter, Spotify, Pinterest, all in negative territory. Speaking of both Pinterest and Snapchat set to report after market tonight. We'll talk about those coming up here as well. Twitter under pressure, as I mentioned, so social media stocks in general dragging down the overall market. 2% right now for the NASDAQ, 1% for the S&P. Dow component Honeywell also missing estimates with their latest report in negative territory. Spotify, another one. Yeah, it's a bit of a red day setting up here. We'll get the weekly jobless claims numbers out here. I'll get you that in a couple of seconds. We'll also get our first reading on inflation this month so far. The ISM non-manufacturing PMI reading coming up at 10 o'clock. It's Thursday, February 3rd, 2022. TraderTV.live starts now. Yeah, so that weekly jobless claims number just out down 23,000, it looks like, basically in line, 238,000 versus 245 expected there. But the bigger story right here, 2% for the NASDAQ so far in negative territory. As we mentioned, the S&P just ticking over that 1 full percent, the Dow hanging on to almost break even, but going to be a bit of a red day to start things off thanks to Meta earnings dragging down the entire social media group. So lots to discuss here as we head towards the open, guys. Just under an hour. Good morning. It is Facebook Day, or Meta Day, whatever you want to call it today. It's not good, regardless of the way you talk about it.
You mean to tell me that
Facebook reported? No.
burning 200 billion of market cap is not a good thing? It's the timing of it's kind of unfortunate for Pinterest and Snapchat. I'm reporting tonight after this. It's going to be you're going to see. We'll talk about those other names on the watch list as well, because dragging the entire space down. I know there's some differences that we're going to highlight here, but yeah, a bit of a surprise on Meta. Even after they reported last night, like Qualcomm, which had been moving to the upside, right? Like the second the Facebook earnings came out, there was a big seller on Qualcomm too, but that just started tanking as well, reversed course.
We're short right now,
dragging everything to the downside. So once again, here we go. It's going to be another wild day in the markets.
Yo, what's up? Yeah, come over to my screen here, Lucas, and you can see this. This is me today. Okay, take a little drink. Wonder what happened. Just lost 30 billion of my own money there. As Mark Zuckerberg right now you have some splaining to do, my friend. Yeah, we're gonna find out what's going on exactly with Meta. But look at this. We are now short Meta on the 250 break. Welcome to the jungle, everybody. We've got fun and games today. It's gonna be a good one. There we go. Let's go. We're already 75 cents in the money on this trade. And if you look here on the sticky note, where's my sticky note? I gotta refresh it. The sticky note's out there, but we talked about shorting right here, guys. Let's short the 250 level if we can get it. So we're on board right now with this name. Short right here off that 250. We're gonna give it up to 252, but right now we're gonna see if the market and Meta wants to continue with a little bit of a down arrow here. We're in the money 40 cents. And Brendan, it's gonna be a fun day today, needless to say. But for everybody, I put out a note yesterday on Twitter as well, and it was just very, very simple. And it's what we always talk about, right? And it's right here. I'm already loaded up into, and thank you for all the love on this too. 75 likes, 6 retweets. It was just last night at 5 o'clock when I got home. But it was like, this is the philosophy of not taking a position in a name before the earnings release, right? We talked about Spotify, and that on the chart, it looked like it was gonna make a move to the downside. We were right on that one. But then I thought anyways, Facebook, I think we all did, had reasons to beat, right? And they don't, and they get killed. So if you want to take a lotto, that's fine. And what I mean by that is options, or you just want to take a shot at a stock before earnings, like we did on Roblox, which paid off. But like I normally never do that. And the first time I did it was Roblox. And then yesterday we did buy something. I put 270. By the time I got filled, Brendan, in the aftermarket, I put a 270 bid. I got 263.25 or something like that. So I was like, oh, I like this so much. I put a 270 bid in. By the time I got it all figured out, it was 260. So it's still out of the money here on my most recent buy. But we're going to play the 3-day rule on Meta, and there's lots to come on this one. We're all the way back already right now, guys, back to March of 2021. So we gave up basically all the earnings, all the profits here that we made in 2021 on Meta, and we're right back to these March lows. But I still think it's going to be a buy. We just got to wait for it to settle down.
Yeah, amazing move. Aftermarket, not a lot of liquidity to deal with for sure. It was the first time ever that they actually lost users in a quarter. I'll show you that coming up here in a second, guys. But if you're joining us for the first time this week, Miss V is still on vacation. She'll be back the 14th, Valentine's Day. So come back in a couple of weeks and Miss V will be back around with us. So let's get into what is moving around here, guys, in the pre-market and talk a little bit about some headlines here. My graphic not working there, Lucas, if you want to double check that. Facebook, yeah, that's the headline, guys. Loses users for the first time in history. So, I mean, there's tons of these kinds of headlines on this story this morning, but this is going to be the market mover today. If you haven't already, grab the morning watch list, guys. I have the monthly active users and the daily active users numbers. Both were either in line or a little bit light. So it's not too good here for FB.
What? Like, first of all, what the heck's going on in our kitchen? It sounds like the guy's like throwing dishes in there or something.
The caterer is a little bit louder.
Caterer is aggressive.
The caterer is aggressive. He must have owned Facebook.
You know what it means? It means
he
there's
must be long Facebook.
There's extra stuff coming in.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's definitely. Well, but
Yeah,
probably
forget about the caterer.
probably doesn't own Facebook, but I don't know. Maybe he does.
Maybe. I mean, if he owns an ETF, he owns Facebook. Let's put it that way.
Maybe not a user of it because it
Who
turns
is
out that
these days?
no one
Who
really
is?
uses it that much anymore. And I think that's one of the things that might
next?
differentiate Facebook from the other names they're going to be reporting, well, specifically today with Pinterest, maybe not with Pinterest, but also with Snapchat, is that there has been some talk, of course, of slowing user growth and some people leaving the platform and not really using it as much. And at the end of the day, this is still an advertising company. They're making that shift, and who knows how long it's going to take. That's the reality. Who knows how long this is going to take for Facebook, for Meta, to get this metaverse going, and they're spending more money. $10 billion, and Zuckerberg said it's going to be more than that the next quarter. So you can expect that you're going to have that pull on their margins. You're going to have that pull on profitability. And then you throw in the iOS thing. I know we're going to talk more about that as well, but there's major support that I guess we've already tested in the aftermarket, and that's the line right here. It's about 244, 245, and that's where it bounced. Looks like we're headed straight there early on.
Yeah, we've already got it, man. We're already on fire today. Unfortunately, it's not a huge amount of shares, but we just take that short right there, 250 break. We put that, like I said, on the sticky note. So let's just tweet that out right now for you guys again. As here it goes, man, 248. We are now $1.70 in the money to start it off right here. It's on the sticky note. We like that 250 break, and look. This took us all by surprise, right? I mean, if you look on the street here, and here we go to the down. I mean, I don't know. I was just looking yesterday, actually. This bottom wick right there that happened basically off earnings was 244. We have some stop and goes here at 246. So I'm going to put a bid at 247 flat, see if we could take $3 because remember, pigs get slaughtered. Remember, like bears make money, bulls make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So let's not be too piggy on this. If we can get a 247.50 print, we'll take out half, and then we'll see what happens here with Facebook. But look, 52 analysts cover this name, guys. 42 of them had either buy or outperform on Facebook, okay? So the street definitely thought that Facebook was going to beat. Their PE is 22, all right? After this number, their forward PE is going to be like, I don't know, 18, something like that. We'll find out when it gets adjusted. But look, I think you back out cash. This is a great value opportunity right now. People are value buying stock. I mean, I believe that Facebook, like I said, you back out cash, their PE is going to be like 13, 14, 15 on that. That's a value buy for me. Reality Labs, obviously a big disappointment. We're talking about some of the numbers now. Over $10 billion, $10 billion spent on the metaverse with this kind of a return. So that's not going to be very good for investors. They don't like that. The spend was a little bit higher than they thought. Like Brendan mentioned, their daily active users down for the first time. But in 2018, Brendan, when we had that Cambridge Analytics scandal and we had, everyone was like down with Facebook, more regulation necessary. They dropped 20% on that earnings release as well. And then obviously we just made all-time highs back in August. So for me, let's do the 3-day rule. Let's see where we can bounce off here on Facebook. Obviously, as a day trade, I had good dreams of coming in and getting short today. So we did that here. Yesterday, if you look at our 1-minute chart, hopefully my trades now, they're not in here. You guys remember, we actually traded it quite well yesterday. Got some bottoms, got out. We made $3 or $4 long. And then we noticed that 323 was having some problems. Then you get that big, huge miss. Remember, down 23% on a market cap like this on Facebook is a lot. And I think it's overdone. I'm almost guaranteeing that this is overdone to the downside, but there's more pressure coming. I'm not a buyer today. I'm not a buyer tomorrow. Hopefully I'm a buyer in a couple of days. But right now, not selling anything that I own in Facebook. I'm actually looking to get long, but it's not going to be today.
It's a good point, and I wanted to mention that, Sean. 2 days ago, we saw PayPal down 25%, by midday to the end of the day, even into the afternoon. 23% here. It's 841 for Meta. Where does this thing go today?
Up. No,
Look, the first level, there's support in the daily. It gets broken at 240, and there's not a heck of a lot to look at. So, you can't. We learned this lesson with PayPal yesterday, right? And I think that's the best example. That's the best example, I think, to use, because it came in at that 140 thinking there could be, okay, that's a level on the daily. Maybe it has a failed breakdown, trap some shorts when it's down so much, right? And then guess what happens? It broke, and it was about the easiest short on a 140 break. And then we're sitting there hunting, looking for longs. And don't get me wrong, able to make money on the PayPal long and end up being my best stock yesterday, but I'm not happy with the result because it was 140 to 130 in the blink of an eye, right? So, where can it go? You start thinking about that next level down, and yesterday it seemed ridiculous. At this time yesterday, it seemed ridiculous that PayPal would be at 120, and then it did end up going to that 125, 126 area. So we'll see what happens. When it comes to Meta, I think that I think it was 244, 245 in the daily. That seems like a reasonable spot. I'm still giving it a chance. To me, it's not PayPal. The entire fintech space has been getting absolutely destroyed. They're all cut in half from the tops like that. You can't really put it into that bucket. So do I think there will be some buying enough for me to maybe look at the short off the open a little bit differently here and try to have it do a curl? But you can't see what happened in PayPal. And we've talked about this, the lack of bid in not just in the post market on earnings, but the lack of bid when some of these get going off of the open has been pretty staggering. And we cannot be surprised by how far these are falling anymore. We've got to be learning that lesson at this point. It's crazy. Microsoft on great earnings. You saw the bid completely evaporate in the aftermarket. Yesterday, PayPal in the morning, you saw just the bid evaporate. I'm not saying it's going to happen on Facebook. I think there might actually be enough buyers for there to be a curl. That's what I intend on playing here this morning, but who knows? I thought there'd be a curl on PayPal too.
I feel like that's a brand new word for you. I think curl was used
I like
infinitely yesterday.
Somebody said it in the chat.
Okay, that's why. Yeah, it's like that barcoding. Once you see it, you like it. So curl, the new word of the day, and I'm coaching curling this weekend. So my kids start up curling. Yeah, so I'm one of the coaches there for my kids curling. So I haven't hit a curling rink in 20 years. So I'll be falling down and embarrassing myself.
Fall down.
And I should probably wear some sort of a helmet. No, I'm not. But shout out to everybody who likes curling. Probably nobody there.
That's not true. I like curling.
Yeah,
I watch curling in the Olympics all the time.
Yeah, I think it's I think it's a fun sport. I don't know, is it still in the Olympics? It was one of those demonstrator sports. So I believe it.
I'm pretty sure it is. You know why? Because one of the guys I played ball with, he almost made it last time.
Yeah. Well, I know there's pictures of my wife, Marissa, wearing the gold medal for curling. because John Morris went.
Oh, yeah, John Morris. Yeah.
So one of the best Canadian curlers of all time, John Morris. I know the guy. I used to know him personally, but
he played in the alumni softball.
Yeah, and he was our age, and I played.
I played too, but I didn't go to Laureate.
Anyways, you guys don't know. This is just a.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on about Meta. So here, you asked where could it go today? Honestly, I think it goes higher. To be honest with you, I feel like it's going to get some kind of, deep value buys, but the thing is that I don't know if that's going to come in today. And so when you ask where does it close today, I think there's a chance that it closes above 250, and it's just we're just hovering around here. So it's hard just for me to say it's going to end up at 270 today or 230 or 240. Let's just talk about where it is right now. I feel like there's a lot of support down here, man. Like it could have broke a lot. It's not like there's no volume. It's 5 million shares. I feel like we could have gone a lot lower from here. You have to apologize because can't do anything about the charts. It's such a drastic move down. But there it is there, 246, got bought up and defended. They obviously had the call, nothing that really surprised anybody. But the top here was 253. So for me, I'm going to go short. So right now we're $1 in the money. We talked about that trade. I'm going to go short until we break out past like 253. I wrote down on the sticky note 252, but I think 253 is a good call. We are now bidding to get out of this at 247.50. That little bottom right there is 246.50. So we are going to put out a bid right now to the downside here. See if we can crack 248. If we crack 248, then I do get this 247.50. I think that starts it. We're going to get out of 2/3 of our trade. We'll hold 1/3 for that big move down. But again, this is why I say, just like that note that I said, don't buy ahead of earnings, and also don't try to predict what's going to happen in like the first 5 minutes of this report, right? The market's going to open up, and you're either going to get people like me that maybe say, hey, I'm going to dump everything I own in Facebook, forget about it, this is going lower, I'll rebuy it back in a couple of days. If that happens, then swoosh, boom goes the dynamite, right? And we go fail on Facebook. We stamp that, right? But what else could happen is people are like, whoa, this is like great opportunity. It's a great PE. I believe in the name, and they could buy it up. I'm thinking more the first, well, not the latter, the preceding. How do you say that? The
former.
The former will happen.
There's actually one other scenario, and
let's talk about.
I'm hesitating.
Here it comes right now.
I'm hesitating to say this, by the way, because this is exactly what I was looking for on PayPal, and it didn't happen. You're at that 250, and if you don't sort of take out that 244, 245, there's always a chance that Tesla a few weeks ago at 1,000 did a similar thing where the break of the key level happened in the pre-market. It then recovered by the time we got to the open. And then when it tried to retest down, it couldn't reclaim that 250 level. If that were to happen, that's a pretty bullish sign, and then the risk to reward could favor a day trade to the long side, right? So that would require a lot of things. Has to bounce a couple of dollars here, get back into this consolidation level, then has to hold that level at the open, and then make a breakout from that point. And then suddenly you're just putting in that same pre-market range for your trade. Right now it sits at 248, so I wouldn't be too concerned about that. But we saw this when Facebook, I remember, it broke 1,000 by like a couple of bucks or something like that. And then by the time we got to the open, you couldn't catch that price again. Now, it's still below the 250, so you have to watch out for that at 9:30.
Just quickly here before we go back to Brendan, thank you so much, guys. 3,500 people watching. If you hit the like button, that would be fantastic. And I want to say something here to David Kyle. Very safe sport. Props to Sean. His kids won't get hurt. And a couple curling things here. But before we give too many props to me here, so it's hockey on Saturday morning for the kids, curling on Sunday morning. So we go from like hockey, which would not give me any props here because very safe sport. But hockey here for kids, actually, I don't know if anybody, people on the chat obviously have kids in hockey, but it's pretty safe nowadays. They have big stop signs on their back. There's absolutely no hitting. I mean, my guy's 10 years old, so it's pretty non-violent. And yeah, I don't know about becoming a professional hockey player here in Canada. That's a very competitive environment, and he may not do that. But professional curler, maybe he could do it. And shout out, someone said Brad Gushu, so another Canadian curling legend there. People talking about that. So
that got in the chat.
Yeah. So here comes the NQ. NQ getting destroyed right now, down 2.5%. We almost got it, guys. You know where this went to? 247.65. 63. We just went down to 247. Here it is, 64. I'm waiting at 247.51. So we missed the print by 13 cents, but I have a feeling we're going to get it anyways. So let's see if we can get this 247.50, take out of the market, $2.50 right away. And yeah, timber goes Facebook right here, Brendo.
All right. Yeah, the market at day lows here. Here's the U.S. 10-year, guys, day highs. Back to recent highs. Anyways, you got to go all the way back to last week to find the last time we were above this. 182.5 for the 10-year as the market makes new lows. A couple other things of note. SLI is Standard Lithium. It was, let me double check just to make sure I'm not saying something incorrect here. There was a short call on this. I just saw this. Hindenburg is short Standard Lithium. So SLI got a big dump on that, 22%. And then I wanted to mention as well, I'll flip over to NVAX because Novavax up here in the pre-market, 1.7, trying to get back to this 96 area. The UK giving them full clearance on their COVID-19 vaccine.
Absolutely. I just want to get one out of the way here because every time there's a big gap up on a deal, we kind of always get the same question. So for TLMD, which is going to be on everybody's percentage gainer list, up 300+% on the day. That's still on NVAX. You were just talking about it. $3 in cash, 30-day go shop period. Spreads have been bigger, so I guess all of these have the chance of moving. And 30-day go shop just means the company has 30 days to go find a better deal before they firm this one up. So sometimes that can mean if there's any interest, you could trade above the buyout price. The spread is pretty big right now. It's trading at 15 cents below, like 285. So there is a bit of room to run. The go shop is the only reason I could see this going above that $3 range. I might be in and out of it like a few times, capturing spread, that sort of thing, because it's going to do 40, 50 million shares worth of volume today, possibly more than that. But this is not one of your gappers that's going to go another 100% to the upside here, break 3, run to 4 on some halts. That's not going to be the case. $3 cash deal.
And I don't know why Facebook is resisting this 248, but I'm gonna try to stay tight here and get this 247.50. I also like, honestly, on the and I know a lot of you are asking about the sticky note in the chat. It's up there. Just go to @TraderTVSean and you'll be able to find it. My number 2 thing here is a short for Snapchat. We really like to short in Snapchat. They didn't even report and they're getting the Facebook treatment. So get ready to rock and roll here. Facebook actually mentioned Apple iOS as well as a problem for their tracking and their ads. So, I mean, Snapchat already got destroyed last earnings report because of that Apple, and that was like one of their number 1 headwinds. So if that's affecting now Facebook, what the heck is Snapchat going to say? And this name just puking as well. Actually, even going down even more aggressively here than Snapchat. This was than Facebook. This was $27 about 30 minutes ago, and now you're touching 26. So this is moving down $1 on a $20 name when we can't even get $2 here on a $250 name. So Snapchat is in my opinion, much weaker than Facebook here. Like I said, $1 on this name, and we can't even get $3 on. Here we go. Come on, we're almost out of Facebook. It's coming right down. Do I just put one on the bid and take this out? Let's go. We're at 50. Hopefully we get Facebook when we come back from Brendan. It's upgrades and downgrades, and unfortunately PayPal once again finds itself on the wrong side of this board.
Yeah, it's been one of those weeks. Neil advised that I just stand here and we just focus on this side today because there's not much on the positive side. There's Facebook, PayPal, Vertex, and Exelon. Yeah, nothing exciting on the upgrade side today, guys. So we'll focus on the negative, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. It was just one of those days where there was nobody upgrading anything that I guess anybody would be interested in. PayPal, we talked briefly about it in the context of their earnings surprise or earnings disappointment last night. You got all the way down, and several times there was this bottom here that was really good. You had to try that 129. That was about the only thing that worked. Fail break in the morning 130s, bounced back up, gave you 134s, and then in the afternoon we had the same long. When the imbalances came out, that ended up being the high in the afternoon, and then post-market lows breached that 129 level that had been support all day long. Now you're looking at the same support. It's just right here, the aftermarket level at 128.40 sits looming, and it's just grinding to the downside. So, we're going to hang out in these 120s. 120 even was a level that we're looking at yesterday. That could come into play today on PayPal. I'm with you on the whole, Pinterest, I don't know, I guess for some reason that's the name I tend to gravitate towards. But, Pinterest and Snapchat reporting tonight, both of those could be just as volatile, if not more volatile, because much like Qualcomm, where I was like, yeah, you might have some risk off. I can't imagine a scenario where there will be somebody's going to be taking risk off on those two names in addition to the losses they've had. So any strength in pins, I want to be shorting.
All right, this is for my new guy, new member of our team, Tim. Welcome aboard, man. It's about to get real fun out here, and this is for you. Watch the screen. Here we go. It's a belly dance kind of day today here as we did. We just covered Facebook, man, and honestly, I mean, what's the difference? I was going to wait. I actually put my order up to 70 there, and I saw my boy Mike on the chat was like, cover, cover, cover. And, you know, I was just like, you know what? Why am I waiting for 20 cents difference when we have $2 in the money? So we'll go, yes, sir. The pins line up. It's a hot dog kind of day right now. We're throwing around the hot dogs, guys. It's a nice win here. We're out of 2/3 of this trade. We'll take the $2 on Facebook, and now we'll hold. And now if it tanks down, man, we still got the trade on. And of course, now it prints 70s, but let's wait to see here what happens with Facebook. Let's just take that profit, man. I mean, anything could happen in the pre-market. We're going to take that right now. The sticky note remains supreme right here. So it's just one of those days. Hopefully we don't have this happen today where we got all the money and then it just spits out of our, here it goes, 247.50 right now on Facebook, heading to the downside. This is a $3 winner coming on here, so we're pretty happy so far here, Brendo.
Yeah, some of these social media stocks, as we said, going to be interesting here. I was just looking at this one as well. There are, surprisingly, a few names that are very positive today. Here's one of them, Ralph Lauren. Reported better than expected results, was doing absolutely nothing here in the pre-market, and then popped up $10 on their report. So back to recent highs anyways here on the daily chart. Also, T-Mobile on the watch list this morning, up big time as well in the pre-market, guys.
T-Mobile, that was the only name that I had seen at that time. It is on our watch list. The Ralph Lauren, it's a volume thing. And T-Mobile's probably also going to be a bit of a volume trap because it's not doing much. But you had a great breakout in the aftermarket, getting very clean. It's like 110 to 120, which is about the thing that I think you can lean on. You also have your resistance sitting right here at that 120, 124 mark as well. So I know we're going to cover that. There's another name on our watch list I want to get to just because I did get into position in BON. I think it's somewhere down near the end of the watch list. Yeah, another small cap there. They actually reported results here, BON. Bit of a move in the aftermarket. You're going to see a couple of legs in here. It just goes clean through the 310, 320 level. And this has been a stock that's just, I mean, you can see the chart. It's not very pretty. You gapped essentially right into this all kinds of resistance at $5 for months. Basically, for a couple of months, it sat there at that $5 range before breaking down. And anytime there's a failure when retail comes in at 7 o'clock and it's off of that level that I think is the logical top, I usually want to short the consolidation. I wasn't really shorting at 720. It made a bounce, came right back in. Sorry, it's not 720. 720 in the morning. The price being at about 440 here. It breaks down through that consolidation, bounces, comes right back into the same range. So I'm short 35s in front of that level. If it breaks 45 to 50, I'll just get out in front of the open and then revisit it at the high of the day. So BON, I'm in position on this one. You can see I'm bidding 420s, bidding in front of 4, and then I'll bid down around that 380 level. So BON on the watch list. A lot is going to be moving today. Small cap, big cap, all over the place. Payment processors, we don't want to get away from them as well because I think that could be just as crazy as it was yesterday in PayPal and Square.
So I've done it again here. I've introduced a new member, and instantly they are asking for Tim to be on the bell. So we've already got the confirmation. It's going to be a thumbs up. So new member of our production team. We told you we're expanding, man. We told you that we're opening up the floodgates here. We're happy to have Tim on board, so he will be ringing the bell. I don't think he's quite as much of a character as Tony.
We'll see.
But we'll see.
Well, we don't know that yet, do we?
We'll see. We'll see. It's Tim's first time.
I don't know. There was a look in the eye just now.
He doesn't know what to expect.
I kind of feel like it'll be fun.
He doesn't know. Okay, so just down here, I feel like, and we'll always talk about the sticky note because it gets a lot of love, and you guys really apparently like it. So let's talk about it one more time here. And I think that in this, you talked about PayPal there, Brendan. In this, wreckage right now of the NASDAQ, down 2.68%. Let's not forget what's bringing this down and what's bringing it up as well. Microsoft's one of the best names you could buy right now in the market, in my opinion. They had a great report. They got hit for absolutely no reason. They've already built out their bottom at 270, 280. I think 295 is a good bottom for Microsoft. And I want to buy this on any any weakness. So that's what we're talking about. If someone's going to give me the opportunity to buy Microsoft right here at 305, then we're going to do that. We hit this yesterday for $2 clean. Again, the trades aren't showing up from yesterday, but we waited very, very patiently for Microsoft to make these bottoms down here at 310, and we hit this beautifully for $2 clean. One in, one out for $1, another out for $2. That happened yesterday. We'll look to do the same thing here today. Look at the dip down. NASDAQ down 2.71%, Microsoft only down 1.37%. So for me, if some reason Microsoft gets flushed off the open, and I think the reason's going to be just net selling of NASDAQ names. The market's down. The triple Qs are down, right? So when you get the NASDAQ 100 down, you're going to get flows. So Apple should come in, but the problem with Apple is I don't really know where the bottom's going to be on Apple. We'll talk about that when the market opens. I'm just very confident that I like this 305 area for Softy. So I already have bids in, man. 305, 304, and then if it's going to crack lower, then I'm going to lose a lot of money today on Microsoft because I don't see why this has anything to do with social media, anything to do with anything that Facebook said. So if this can come down and we can get some value, I'd almost buy I would buy right now. I don't think Microsoft should be down anything today, but again, it flows with the market. So if technology is getting hit, obviously Microsoft gets hit as well. So, and by the way, adios amigos right now as we go, yeah, buddy, it's carnival time on Facebook as this continues to make new lows right now, taking out the bottom. It just touched 247.20. The People's Trader has this short right now at 250. So let's see how low this thing can go. Maybe we get a 240 print. Who knows?
Yeah, the market accelerating to the downside here. Let's bring in Arun quickly and get a check of the overall market and see what we need to be aware of today. Back to the lower end of the range today, Arun.
Yeah, and this is interesting. When I was giving you guys these levels, these zones yesterday, this is the kind of situation where you would hope to happen midday, but it doesn't. But then the way it happened overnight, it fell right off that 45.80. Remember, we were looking at 45.80 right going into 46.20. There's a decent amount of action going back to mid-January, so that would be a nice little resistance point to fade. The market did struggle a little bit for the most part around that zone yesterday, but never gave us the opportunity to get short, and now it just took off to the downside. So it looks like, well, at least when it comes to futures, because they are open almost 24 hours, you got to stay on this if you want to play the game. And since we're coming into the day and the market's already down, NASDAQ's almost 3% at this point. It's 2.86% to the downside. S&P 1.5% to the downside. At this point, we know that resistance zone is gone. Well, we can't work with it. It's too far. We're about 70 points from even making a shot at that 46.20, so we can't work with that. We do have that support zone down below, but that starts in another about 70 points to the downside. So this market really has to fall off to find a long. But only thing we can really do is look at this area around 4,500. There's a ton of action here. I don't see a level that I could work with, but I can hopefully get a bounce off of this 4,500 that I can find a new level that would develop throughout the day that I can then play with, right? That's the only thing. I've got two zones, one above, one below, and we're sitting dead center in the middle of that zone. And I told you guys yesterday, it's a really wide area. And when this happens, you're stuck waiting for something to happen, and this market could easily move another 1%, 2% before we can get something going. Right, so this is the market we're dealing with. I know Facebook is taking off, or Meta is taking off to the downside. So quickly, let's go over the NASDAQ because I think that will be relevant today as well. And what is the NASDAQ doing? Exact same thing, exact same setup. We've got 15,500 up top, 200-point range going up. So 15.3 going all the way to 15.5 would be the resistance zone. And then to the downside, we've got 14.5 going down to 14.3. So another 200 points to the downside, and the NASDAQ is sitting right at support. So it's up to the market on what it wants to do. A nice little flush down would open up the potential for longs to kind of, go against this trend at some point, this negative trend that we're seeing off the open, or not off the open, but at least going into the open. A nice little bounce would help the situation. But if this market really decides to accelerate, it's got some levels to get through if it really wants to get going. And I think for me, especially on the NASDAQ, 14.3 has to be the level. So if we get a nice another 200-point move to the downside, it might be buy time if we get the setup, be very clear on that, is we need a setup. This market could easily accelerate to the downside without giving a setup. And at that point, you just walk away, wait for the market to set it up, and then you go for it. But respect what the market wants to do. It's negative at the moment. So if negative pressure is what we're seeing, respect it, wait, and then if we get that setup, go for it. In the meantime, you can find shorts. If you're liking shorts better and you have some setups, I noticed that Qualcomm, Spotify, and as Sean was talking about, Facebook are all running to the downside. So let's take a look at those maybe off the open and wait for the futures at some point.
Yeah, 1.5% coming quickly here for the S&P. So let's get into what else is moving around here in the pre-market, guys. If you are looking for an absolutely free watch list every single morning, that is the link you need. You can use the QR code. We'll have it in the chat for you as well. We send it out before we come on at 8:30 every single morning. It's all about Meta on that watch list. Just watching this market continuing to crack to the downside here. 45.10 going to be important. It feels a bit of a bounce here. But yeah, let's talk about that is incorrect. We'll update that. But let's talk about Meta, guys.
Meta.
What?
Oh God! Yeah. What are we doing with Meta today? Yeah. Apparently they reported or something. I'm not 100% sure, and it just reminds me. And this is not self-promotion of Twitter. It's just this thing again here. This is Mark Zuckerberg today after this report. It's just like, I hope no one asks me about this report. Of course, that's when he was on Capitol Hill there. But, oh, man, what a disaster. I'm looking at Snapchat here, putting some orders to get short if we do pop up on Snapchat. It's a disaster day here, obviously, as Facebook. Yes, sir. Fire off the cannons today for Facebook as we are right down to the downside here. It's making new lows right now, 246. We put on the sticky note that we like the 250 short. It's right there. You're not going to get, hopefully you're not going to get a more honest trader anywhere on Twitter than me. We put in our trades. We put in all of our ins, all of our outs. We're right here. I'm talking about why I liked Facebook yesterday and being responsible for what's happening with this here today. I bought some yesterday in the aftermarket, 263.20 or something like that. That's going to be a mistake. Now we're going to use the 3-day rule. I don't love Facebook as much today as I did yesterday, but I still think that there's value in this name. The PE is going to be so super low. We just got to let this thing settle out. Obviously, it's a huge disappointment for everybody today. 42 of 52 street side analysts had this as a buy or a market outperform. The cash these guys have is absolutely unbelievable. But right now, hopefully we can make more money today on this short right now than we did losing yesterday. So right now, we'll backflip on this one. $3 in the money off of a 250 short. My mic, did you say? No, everything's fine. Okay, 250 to the short side here as we continue to go down. And honestly, to look at where to get out of this name, we looked yesterday, that little base, we're right there right now, 246.50. So we're already at a level that was defended. It did dip down on an ultimate bottom of 244. Let's see if we can't get even lower than this right now. Down $3. Look, $10 billion in Meta in Reality Labs. Nothing to show for that. That's going to hurt. They are restructuring. They're going through changes right now and guiding forward, missing 7% or something revenue growth. Like, it's not going to be good. You don't guide and guide lower in this environment, Neil. And if you do that, you've already seen what's going to happen. As happy as we were with 10% in Google yesterday, you get 24.
You're even more disappointed. And the thing about it too is it's not just that it's $10 billion they're throwing in there. That's a third of what the revenue was, right?
Yeah.
And then the Apple, obviously that was a little bit more, I guess, expected, I suppose. That's another $10 billion right there. And it's the $10 billion into the metaverse, that's going to be expanding. So if you think things can get worse for Facebook, that's along the lines of them also expanding. Now, keep in mind, when you're talking about rebranding a business or making a shift, making a turnaround in the company, you do want to make sure you have cash flow and you want to make sure you're generating cash. So they have that going in their favor to be able to make this transition as they're trying to do. We talked about the daily chart, double bottom, 244. There's not another level that technically, other than just sort of looking at that. If it gets broken, okay, crazier things have happened in the past. Like I said, if it managed to hold that level and could have retaken 250, that was the way that I would have maybe looked for long. It doesn't look like that's going to be in the cards right now as it continues to fall. So 44 is the only level worth defending, at least right here off of the open with 20 minutes to go.
On here, guys, Qualcomm, on the other hand, Actually with a good report. I mean, right across the board, there wasn't too much on the negative side for QCOM, but we are trading to the downside. Another one today in negative territory.
Yeah, the Rocky said it doesn't matter. Qualcomm was, look, man, significant guide forward on revenue was fantastic for them. It was like the 10.5 to 11 billion range, expecting 9.5. Like, I don't know what more you can ask for. Like the handheld business is doing well for them, and things were like the reaction the market had when it broke out those highs. We talked about this in the afternoon that it wouldn't make a break until after market, and then it was breaking out. All of a sudden, I can tell you, I was watching the stock. Somebody right here decided to offer 50,000 shares when no one is putting out more than 10, 20, 30 shares at a time. 100 is a lot in this name. And they offered 50,000 shares. It went down. They offered 50,000. The same order went to 92. It went to 90. It chased it all the way to 85, 185. Like some Yahoo was chasing down an order. That's like $500,000. It's ridiculous. But anyways, that coupled with Facebook, I think is a lot of the reason why aftermarket that it fell as far as it did. So I'm not actually putting that much credence into the pre-market lows in Qualcomm because I feel like that was just a weird event that happened there. I think we look back to the high, that 188 level that we're shorting in front of in the afternoon show that it made a top. That's a pre-market high as well. I think it can be shorted into that 188. You go back to the daily, whoops, wrong way. That's exactly where the resistance was, just sitting right here, 188 channel to like a 192, and that's where it was in the daily anyway. So if the market's going to be down, I think Qualcomm can't really break out until it gets through those fresh highs. If somehow it were to get to that 170 from yesterday, you can see previous tops just below that 170, last consolidation high 170. I don't think we get there, but that would have to be defended. If I see Qualcomm at $170 where it was in the aftermarket yesterday, I'm definitely going to be on the bid.
All right, just quickly here, I want to shout out to trader formerly known as Jude Fernando, who is on my Twitter here, and this is what he mentioned. This is Q2 20, right? Facebook's earnings per share was 188. Facebook was at 249. Fast forward to today, their current earnings per share, 367, okay? And it's still at the same price. So that's double their EPS, right? But we do know, obviously, there's more here. It's about the guide. I don't know, Jude, I would love to see Facebook back to 300 next week. I think that's a very, very strong possibility. But again, we need some reports to come out, and we need some positive analyst upgrades and people that hopefully think like you coming out and talking about that. So as far as earnings, this is why I said to everybody that I think Facebook is going to be a monster. Their earnings is huge. It's just they have these headwinds right now that they're talking about, and unfortunately, they just keep on getting destroyed. Qualcomm, a great name. Neil just went over some levels there. I mean, I like the stock. I like what they're doing. They're trying to get into IoT here as far as cars are concerned and things like that. So they're moving away from chips in cell phones for good reason, as Apple and some of these other companies doing it themselves. So Qualcomm is going to get hit on that, down 2.5. Doesn't seem like it's enough, but at the same time, the NASDAQ and Qualcomm just kind of bouncing around this minus 3%. So for me, obviously, I have way bigger fish to fry today, but Qualcomm's a good one, and nothing wrong with trading names that are moving. 739,000 shares in the pre-market is a nice one. Our quick check here on the market imbalances. These are just just New York names, as NASDAQ will come out at 925. Palantir, Neo, Snap. This is really the big guy that I'm worried about is Snapchat. We are going to short this thing back to 27.50. If we're wrong on that one, we'll get out at 28. We'll probably give everything back, though, obviously, if that does happen. Here's Ford as well on the list for a minus 178 right now. Everything's a sell, including, does that Square? Yeah, Square a sell. That's on our watch list. Touching Brendan, 105 right now. Square, another broken name, my man.
Yeah, still to the downside for SQ. Let's go to Spotify here. This was the headline that kind of led it to the downside as well. It was the first quarter subscriber number that missed quite badly for Spotify. Their forecast as well for the remainder of the year on the sub side of things, definitely weaker than expected as well. So not a good look here for Spotify today.
Timing's not again, your timing is just not good. Something like a Facebook is going to drag any kind of related name, and that's going to be right in there. So you're going to have a subscriber miss, and it's going to get them absolutely shellacked. About the only positive that I would say is somewhat of a surprising bounce back. Like, given how bad it was, it made a pretty significant bounce in the aftermarket and then made an attempted gap up in here to 175. And what that did is just sort of provide what I think is an obvious level to work off of here. Like, I'm seeing this 175 on the 15-minute, and you say to myself, okay, it's a short to that level. It's very similar to like 25 bucks on Pinterest. By the way, I did get into Pinterest there at 24.70. We were trading live and talking to you guys. We did get into Pinterest. I have taken a first out of Pinterest, 77 to 24.51. It's the next topic. I was going to cover it then. But Spotify, in front of 175 is where I want to be fading it. I like shorting the pops. You guys know that. So I'm going to go back to that plan of action. And that level stands out. You had a huge ramp up from there to end the month. To end January, and then you put in pre-market resistance at the same price. So I think that's the level you want to, I guess, defend if you're shorting, I suppose.
Yeah, again, like I've just been so distracted with everything today. I didn't even look at Spotify. I mean, you guys know which names we're going to be on, but I did want to talk quickly about Ford here. Ford yesterday, of course, it's just in these levels that I really like. And I think any dip down, you're going to get the market diving today. The S&P is down 1.35%. The NASDAQ is down 2.67%. But let's go to names that don't really have too many problems right now. And I mean, Ford, Randy is telling me a story today about acquiring some new batteries, new deals as far as that is concerned. And if there's any articles on that, we can check that out as well. But you can see down here, 1950. I feel like there's going to be some good support down here. This is another name that's on the sticky note. So right now, I don't have any bids as Ford does fall down. We do get some of those crazy moves. But if we're able to buy anything into this area of support down here, 1940, 1950, like you can start it anywhere. It's just I'm liking it against this 19. It's just a matter of how much risk do you want to put on. And let me tell you what happened yesterday to Ford. If I just zoom out just a little bit, this is why I'm not doing anything right now. Look at this move at the open. It opened up at $21 yesterday and just kept going straight down. Sure, there's some stop and goes here, but whatever. Straight down to basically 20.25 before retracing back up 30 cents and then hitting another key level of 20 bucks and then regrouping all afternoon, right? And closing at its high of the afternoon. So that was a great move back for Ford there. So we do notice that there is some consolidation down here at 2015, which is what's happening right now. But for me, in a day like today, let's take advantage of a little spill down here in Ford and see if we can't get a buy. And I'm going to put the bid in right now. Why not just start this thing at 1975 or something? If we do get a flush down on Ford, we'll be there, open arms, helping out the longs. We'll sit there, we'll take a fill. Look at this, it's 500,000 shares to sell off open for Ford, so it should create some downward moves. I'm not gonna talk about Palantir, just like we're not gonna talk about Bruno today, but we will definitely look at Palantir at some of those key levels, but they're a little bit lower. It's just cracking. We were at 14 yesterday, we're at 13 today, so I'm not too happy. I almost want Aunt Kathy to stop buying Palantir, and I want Palantir to stop getting all these new contracts, because every time they do that, it seems to go down. So let's wait to see on that one. But I'm a buyer of Ford before any of these other names, 19 mids.
I want to just get into the rest of these social media stocks. We mentioned them very briefly there at the beginning, but worth a note here. I mean, like Sean was saying there, Snapchat hasn't even reported, and it's 18%. Pushing lows here, coming tonight, by the way, if you're just joining us. Also, Pinterest coming tonight with their earnings down 10 here, guys.
I like these. Look, obviously, we keep saying it's the worst possible.
What are you going to do about these stocks?
These charts, like Pinterest is down from 90 to 25. That's probably why it's only down 10% and not 18 because of how far it's fallen. But look at these levels. Like $26 was the golden entry. Well, it was the golden breakout on Pinterest. You're not even getting a chance to trade off that level to the downside. But I can't see many avenues to there being a fantastic report. Its saving grace is how far it has fallen. I just shorted once at the quarter mark, 3/4 mark, I should say, 77s, and then got some out at 50s. I want to reload. We're about 10 minutes away from the open, so I want to be reloading in front of these pre-market highs. The target range for I think the out, or where that curl trade would be, is between 25 and the current pre-market high. So ultimately, if it were to break the high of the day, I'd want an average price to be sitting at 25. So I am starting it a little bit early, but I am going to be scalping it on every single down move. It consolidates and falls. As far as levels go further down, there's really not much of anything. Like this is the 24 is the post-market lows. I showed you the daily, which has basically nothing in terms of support. So if it breaks the low of the day, you just want to make sure you're hanging on to a portion because you never know how far these can fall. It's going to be a risk-off event. Is it possible they catch a bid? Sure. But to me, they're just shorts till they're not. That's the way we talk about like the Affirm and Moderna. That's worked out. And today, I can see the shareholders of these names not being very happy and being very, very, very nervous.
Yeah, you want to take it even a step further. Like, just thank God if you want to have anything positive about Facebook. Just thank God you own Facebook and not Pinterest, right? Because honestly, or Snapchat or any of these names, look at what a hot garbage Pinterest
Twitter,
is.
too.
Yeah, or Twitter. Yeah, actually, Pinterest is way worse than Twitter. I mean, Pinterest is by far the worst. I mean, we can check out Etsy, but or Snapchat. Like, Pinterest was $90 in March. Remember, Facebook is back to March levels. So if you bought Facebook in March, you're long at 250, right? Right now, you're flat. So all you've done is you've just given up 10 months. That's it. Let's just say that you thought you were all smart and stuff and you were buying Pinterest back in March. That's $80 and $90. And there's nothing wrong. Like, who knows what was going to happen. But that's $80 Pinterest was, okay? Even if you said, oh, you know what, I'm going to pick up Pinterest here at 56. Like, it's $24. So Facebook flat since March, okay? And you had opportunities to take it out from that March bottom, right? Pinterest hasn't seen highs since March and is $24. So you're like, honestly, if you put in 10 grand here, what do you got? At least in Facebook, you still got 10 grand. So a lot of these numbers starting to get really clapped out. Pinterest, Facebook, Snapchat, man, they're all to the downside. And this is when you sort of zoom this back out. Look, everyone's going to hate on Facebook, right? Because it sucks that we've just been at 380 and now you're down to 240. But look where we are, man. We're just at the same levels that we've already been at. So let's just kind of like breathe a little bit. This is why I'm saying it's going to be a 3-day play for me. I want to load up. I think it was it Trader Paul there messaged me and he said, I'm going to put a stink bid down here at 220. And I was like, hell yeah. That would be fantastic if we can get a 220 print on Facebook. If we have that one, then I'm selling everything and buying Facebook. So let's wait to see what happens here. Obviously, we're invested in this name, and I think it's fine at these levels. But again, it could get flushed down. Let's see what happens here. We're $2 in the money, so let's not forget about that, man. We're still on one today, but we'll see where it goes from here. I'm not 100% sure. We're going to play off the open. We only have 9 minutes left until the market opens, and I feel like right now, Facebook, smart money's starting to come in. It's 921 right now. Let's see what happens. Retail, someone's been buying this thing up, man. We got a piece out there. I'm getting nervous that this retakes 250 right here, and then we start to go back up to the upside. Are people finally understanding stuff that Jude said, stuff that I've been saying, is that this is a great, great company, great opportunity. They're just going through some rough spells right now. I still really like Facebook. It's just I'm not a buyer at these levels. I still think it can go lower, but look what's happening right now. Here we go. So this is what you're going to have to battle with, just like we did with Microsoft.
All right, there are a few positive stocks as well to talk about this morning. One of those, T-Mobile, with a pretty good report, actually. More than doubling EPS over estimate, so 34 cents versus 15 cents that was expected. Revenue was kind of in line to slightly lower, but a decent quarter here for this one, which was a bit of a surprise to me this morning, up 8% here. But big time levels to get through for TMUS around 120.
This is yet another name that bounced literally off $100 just recently. It's kind of worth noting. There's a lot of names when it gets to that century mark. Those have been good buying opportunities if it's a company that is relatively solid. But it's about where it come from. It's come from 150 to 100. So you got to make sure you put stocks into different buckets too. One thing about the Facebook, Pinterest thing is if you're even comparing those two companies, it makes no sense. In the same way that Pinterest and some of those other pandemic rush names were going up 3-4x, and the velocity with which they're doing it, they can come down as fast. If you think about how fast things came up, and that's how quickly they can come to the downside. I wish there was volume on T-Mobile because the levels look really solid in terms of what it's done here, a 110 right into 120. And that just tells me in a day where the market's going to be struggling, maybe it's going to struggle to get through that 120 even mark. But 65,000 shares traded? Yuckity yuck, yuck yuck. That's just not enough volume for me. So I'm going to have to pass. Would it be on bracket for like a potential? There's room if it breaks 120 to like 124s. If you look at the daily chart, the fade trade would sit there at 120 if you like it. I'm going to stick to what's moving. I just want to give an update on BON there. It's starting to roll over a bit. Like I said, I was bidding around the 420s and a couple times on the way to $4. Ultimate retracement, if you look on the 15, which is pretty bland, there's your highs around 370. So I would expect right around that 370 for there to be a bit of a bid. If we crack 4 and start falling like a rock, I think 370 is the bounce point.
Remember yesterday, AMD down 2% today. We can, if you want to short a name, obviously I would be shorting Intel rather than AMD, but I don't know what Intel's down. Intel might actually be up now, actually, as the NASDAQ. Let's just have a quick look here. The only reason, yeah, see, so that makes sense. So right now, Intel's stronger than AMD, right? So that actually leads me to think, I was about to put AMD on the watch list today because I think we could short, I was almost going to say short AMD and long Intel because some of these names like AMD flew so high yesterday that I feel like there was a lot of profit taking yesterday in AMD. We talked about that. It's why I wasn't on the sticky note yesterday as a long because look at this profit taking. You came in, AMD was up 12%. They took the profit all day in a red tape on the NASDAQ, right? And then today, I mean, here we go. We fought it yesterday. A lot of bids and offers. We were basically flat on AMD yesterday after about 3 or 4 different opportunities there to try to go long. I think today, we did wick down there yesterday off the close and touched 119.50. Obviously, this is not a name. As there goes, wow, okay, here we go. Let's hit the siren alert right now as Facebook getting cracked right now, lower, and it's NASDAQ in balance time. So let's have a quick look here. Yeah, so I don't see Facebook on here, but obviously it's starting to move to the downside here on that news of the imbalances released here. So they just went lower. So right now we're 350 in the money on this Facebook trade to the downside here. What I was talking about was AMD is just watch out. If the NASDAQ does completely fall apart, obviously AMD as a big bellwether there for the chip sector, AMD and NVIDIA, you know, they're going to fall down as well, just on momentum. So on any move downside, I wouldn't buy AMD or NVIDIA unless if you already own them, fine, great, buy them at lower levels. But if you want to get some protection here, I really like the SMH. I last bought this thing at 264. So I really like the SMH. I think this is going to work. If you want, yes, Facebook. If you want to get some exposure to the chip sector, to semis, and not worry about individual names, buy the SMH. As right now, yes, sir, we on one. Let's go again. Let's just go with this because money's coming in, not coming out of this wheelbarrow right now. As there goes Facebook, man. We're short right now at 250. It's just touching 246. It's taking out that level yesterday right here of 246.50. We just took that out. That little bottom right there is 244. Basically, we just hold our shares now and see where we go with Facebook.
All right, the other little one, bottom end of the list this morning, Biocardia, BCDA, 225 on the daily chart is a pretty significant level above that. It's got room all the way to 311 million on the float for this one, so it is relatively small. It's trying to retake 2 right now. If it does, probably tests the high. That other BON as well, very, very small float, 3.3 million, I believe, for BON, guys.
Actually, Biocardia, I'm sitting there on the offer just in case it does the pop and fade trade. But I'm already in BON, so we don't need to talk about that one. Short in front of the 448.5 level. It's testing $4, so it's already given you that 10% retracement to the downside. And of course, obviously, if Facebook's going down, I don't think it's any stretch of the imagination to say that Pinterest is also falling. I'm sure I could, if I pulled up Snapchat, we'd see the same thing, like a bit of a pop, and then right to the low of the day. Like Sean said, this is now just a hold. Obvious levels have come and gone. We're below that 25 mark. It's looking like we're going to break 24 rather rapidly. There was one name I promised myself I would go over today, and you know this. Every single day I complain about the fact that there's so many things moving that I forget about a firm, which has been one of the names I'm a little bit more aggressive on. It's right back into this 50, 58, 59 area. So any strength in a firm back to 59 is a short to me. I know it's down at 56. Facebook's dragging the market down, and clearly this was going to give me that shot, I think, unless if Facebook hadn't tanked, I think we're going to be able to get to 58 in front of 59. But I do want to be on that name just in case. There's not a lot of bull cases I like here today, and I want to go to DWAC as well. This one has also been a mover. Load. Wow, that's a little slow there. DWAC has been a bit of a mover. It's all the way down 5% here, back to the 75. And when you pop, the daily is actually loaded up this time. The daily is going to show you a bit of a double top above 80. It's got support not until about 63. But if you look right here, this is $74. Previous resistance, that's a couple of dollars away. You crack 74 and this thing could absolutely flush. So DWAC also going to be on the radar. This is the first day in a while that I haven't looked at any EV names, although at the open. So much to be watching though.
Yeah, $5 now in the money as we get ready to debut Mr. Tim on the bells. So we're excited for that one. Welcome to the party. I already see Tim was already enjoying the breakfast, so that's really nice. We're glad to see that one. As here we go, down goes Facebook. That was a good idea to short this 250 level. That was about as easy as a trade that I'm going to see in the pre-market anyways. Like, it was bouncing off this 250 over and over and over again. Once we broke it, we had our out. Like, our out was going to be $2. We're now in the money 6. So that's a good trade here for Facebook. And we're glad that we have this one. But someone, I just tweeted out, like, where do we expect a bottom? Hopefully we can find a capitulation bottom where it just like absolutely tanks, and then we're able to see that a little clearer. But with only 10 seconds left to go, let's debut Mr. Tim. You can see him. There he is. What's up, Tim? With only 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ring it, my man. All right, let's go. Thank you, Mr. Tim, for that one. And here we go. The NASDAQ obviously starting to go lower now, and we'll just hold on to our Facebook shares because we have nothing else to do. Let's go over to, I don't know if you just got into anything. Oh, shoot, Snapchat already takes out 26. We were hoping that would happen before we could get in here, but it's already going to the downside here as Snapchat looking to open up. It's not open yet, guys.
Yeah, Pinterest just broke the low of the day. So like I said, we'd be holding on to it if it broke the low. It got below 24, but there was a bit of a recovery there, back to 24.10. So that name continuing to slide. There was that BCDA, which I mentioned. I'd be looking for the curl. I'm already in bond. Bond broke $4, so we're about 40 pennies in the money. Looking for about 70 as the ultimate target. But now that BCDA is moving upside, I want to be shorting this one on the pop. I mentioned a firm. I am going to be, look, I'll be on the offer, but the chances that it actually makes a move to the upside seems pretty slim for me to be able to get that short. There goes BON through 4, so this one is absolutely falling like a rock now. Yeah, this could be one we're sitting in all day.
All right, let's go, guys. Diamond Hand Man is here. We're $7 now in the money on Facebook as this just cracks lower, lower, lower. Like I said, I'm not sure I'm ever going to find an easier trade than that 250 break, but at the same time, let's see. Maybe we just made that flush out bottom here. So Facebook continuing to make a march to the downside. I got to get out at some point. So if we take out 245, we're going to be gone to this one. So let's put that bid out right now. We just watched that go all the way to the downside. Maybe there's some kind of love back here for Facebook. So let's take this out. Oops, there it is. We're out of Facebook right now. So we'll Gronk spike that one. And again, it's because I have the theory that this name is just too beat down right now and Facebook needs to get bought. So there it is. We will cancel that. And now we will wait for some reloads or something here on Facebook because now it's going back up to the upside. So a nice little win right there. We'll spit some money out 1 for 1 here today.
And Qualcomm makes a bottom. I wish it was 170, but it's not. But 180 or so, and heading back up. If the market's going to make a nice little push, it's 188. The only level that I like defending on Qualcomm. That was previous highs. And as we get close to it, I want to look for that fade. I will take one more shot here as it on Pinterest, by the way, as it tries to grind higher. It has not gotten to that 25 level. I'm still holding on to it. Remember, Facebook's reported. You've already gotten to see the numbers, so it's a bit different if they make a relief rally than if Pinterest does. And there's a little bit of excess risk because you still have to wait for their report to come in. Has yet to break out through that high we just shorted at 24.77. So I'm looking for the reload.
There it is again, another 40 cents. The People's Trader is in the building, and today we ride the bear. Here we go to the downside right now as we just take Snapchat right there. 26.50 short, out 26.15, and we're still going to hold Snapchat shares as I'm not even sure it is open, but I don't see too many New York prints here. So yeah, this thing is flying around. I'm thinking that New York hasn't
Pins
even
is not open.
Open
Pinterest
to this yet.
open.
Yeah, I don't think Snapchat's open either.
It's not open
but
yet.
That's why we take that 40 cents, man, and just ring the register one more time. What a good day this has been so far. Brendan, kill him.
Spotify, guys, testing higher already, back towards these highs from the pre-market area. 175 going to be the real test, but buy volume to start on spot.
Yeah, 475 was the level I was definitely going to be looking at for Spotify. Pinterest is now open, of course. And the second it opens, it makes a reversal. I'm also looking Qualcomm here, that 188. So I canceled my order on Pinterest because it hadn't opened on the NYSE, and then it flushes once again. But Qualcomm's getting really, really close to that 188 level. About 187 is where I'll take my first shot. I just want to make sure we have a good risk to reward here. And remember, I thought it was a good report. There was just that seller that came in and chased it all the way down.
Oh
so
my God.
Let's see if it tries to make that screen move to the upside. But yeah, there's pins. I should have just taken the fill, even if it hadn't opened up yet. I guess we should have just stuck to our guns. But there's Pinterest rolling over again. If it breaks a low, I still want to be holding this one for the duration.
Yeah, it looks like we don't have too many diamond hands here as we got out of Facebook basically on that spike up as it goes all the way to 246.40. But it's okay. Your boy has this right now, Snapchat, to the downside. And we're going to make $1 on this one, hopefully a little bit more on Snapchat here. So as the market pulls back in, I did just cancel my bid for Microsoft. So we were going to bid this thing, but you can see the futures now coming back down to that downside. Welcome, guys. Thank you so much for joining. If you could hit the like button, let's do that. Maybe we get these stocks to rally a little bit on the like side of things. Crypto going to the downside as well as Ethereum at 26 change right now. Cardano at 103. Bitcoin at 36.5 right now, starting to make moves. So yeah, the market right now is a little tippy. Needless to say, damn you, Facebook. I just gave up $5 on that. Sorry about that, guys. What up, Brad?
Not one typically we see right out of the gate, but AstraZeneca popping up on some volume, guys. Regio Biosciences announcing a licensing agreement for a artery disease treatment with this one, AZN. So a big pop there, back through 57.90 for AstraZeneca.
If you saw the backflip, it was because we got that curl on Qualcomm, grabbed the 87 short, immediately goes right to 186. That's 1-to-1. I'm always going to get some out at that 1-to-1 mark. By the way, with Facebook now through 240, guess where Pinterest is? Oddly enough, it's right back at 24.50. So this might give me a shot for a reload as Facebook is absolutely tanking. And the only reason I think it might be worth a little bit of a chase is because I'm seeing, I keep saying Facebook, Meta, whatever, you guys know exactly what we're talking about, continuing through those lows. So if you're going to tell me that we're continuing to drop here in Facebook and that Pinterest hasn't reported yet, and I'm able to get a reload at the higher end of the range, like why would I not be taking this trade? You can just add more here in the 24.50 range. You can always have a bit of a stop out at that 24.75 and then revisit at 25 even.
Yeah, we're putting Facebook into the gates of hell, but we are not. We are spitting out the cash again here as Microsoft. Look at this bid. We just took a 309 bid, guys. It's at 310 right now. That's a good move here for Softy as it's continuing to go to the upside. Let's see if there is some love here for Microsoft. Back up, man. We got a good trade here. What's the high? If we can get some 310 actions here, we should do that. So a nice little move up here. Look, $1 in 1 minute right now. We cooking up the profits right there. Let's barbecue some wins up here. Let's go, Softy. Did we just get that? No, we did not. We're just north of 308 right now. Maybe let's just cancel that and take a piece out right now in case it does fade. Bang! There it is again. So we'll go another banger for you as Facebook tanking, but our boy Softy. And again, if you're looking for something here, looking for some guidance, you're looking for something, we have watchlist.tradertv.live, and we also have Microsoft. Should be an opportunity on weakness. So there it is. We buy that. We make $1 for you right there clean. We also destroy Facebook today, but we got out on that bump back up thinking that the destruction was maybe over. But man, were we wrong on that one as this just keeps on tanking, and so does Snapchat. Snapchat goes all the way for us down to 25.80. So put a bid down here. If Snapchat does crank lower, I think it does all day here, we may get that out at 25.70 for that nice $1. But look at Softy. Go, Softy. We're now $1 in the money on this one. So mucho happy with the way this is. You can now talk about Bruno.
I don't know if you can. But anyways, Bond back to that $4.
It's up to you guys if you want it.
It's the rule. It's the rule of the song. It's actually a very catchy
song. Did you watch that movie yet?
I can't. I've heard the song like 300 times because my daughter keeps requesting it on our Alexa. Whatever the ones we have, the speaker. I don't even know which one. It's Hey Google, so whichever the
So it's an Alexa.
Yeah, whatever that's called. I could care less. But yeah, I have to listen to that song over and over again, but she won't watch the movie. There's some support here on BON right around this $4 level. You can see a bit of a buyer. I'm not going to change my plan. As a matter of fact, I do not like the notion of a reload right around that 430 mark. And I also did get into that BCDA. That was the other small cap. Low floater. I said I'd short it into a spike at the high of the day. It just reversed off of 220. So I had an offer at 08s that we took out of the money against us and then allowed it to curl. And once it did, we add to the position at 15s. I'm giving this to a stop at the high of the day. I'll start covering it in front of $2 even. We're right at that 2-quarter mark on Pinterest, which was the line in the sand. So it looks like it's going to test that top end of the range. I really don't like the idea of going long this name. So I'm not doing any kind of a breakout long if Pinterest cannot fall from here back down below 25. I'll just take it out with without any reversal.
Man, we are like just, I mean, look at Microsoft, man. If we can get this out at like 311 and take $2 on this trade in like 5 minutes, we should probably do that. I'm still a little distraught about getting out of that Facebook. It's Facebook right now down to 238, guys. 238 now on Facebook. That out is just ridiculous there at 245. We give up $7 on the upside there. What's up, Brendan?
Penn National, guys, another one that reported, actually looks like this morning in the pre-market here, off to the races, 10.5%. Just going to double check the call might be right now, but heads up on Penn, just breaking 50.
I feel like we missed that. Yeah, crazy Penn. I mean, look, I don't want to add something to the list right now while we're still in that sort of crazy mode. Keep in mind, like the market's booming to the upside. Just gonna adjust my bids in a second on BCDA, but I wanted to show you guys Qualcomm because the market was booming to the upside. We did take the dollar profit, and then we have our stop at that 188. So it's all about risk to reward here. You see the breakout at 188. This should have been that should have been a reversal. You do see the move to the upside. That was that 188 level from the afternoon. We were talking about it trying to break out after the earnings report, which was incidentally a good earnings report. The further flush has now just happened in BON. That's 385. So this, like I said, this is the one. We'll shoot it off to like the Miss V Superman because she's not here. Arun's doing a fantastic job in her absence. But this could be the one that we just sort of hang on to and might just be a short for the rest of the day. We also talked about, I don't know if you covered Spotify there, Sean, no. It did this one spike, and I reloaded in Pinterest. And Spotify went to like 174 and change for like a second and then slammed back down. That might have been close enough. It just might have been close enough to 175 that if I was on the level 2, maybe I should have had it. I'm going to say I probably wouldn't have gotten that fill anyways, but you'll see the rejection off that 175. That was kind of a gift, but that's a tough trade to get. You probably had to take it at 172.5 and risk $2.50 and be watching it, but you're seeing it fall down. And yeah, Pinterest is trying to reclaim 25, so even it's struggling to catch a bid, although it looked like it might have.
There we go. You'll see the alert go off there because we have a new position in its DraftKings. And again, just off that Penn report, Penn is absolutely motoring. Great trade for Penn. Excuse me. As DraftKings also starting to motor a little bit here to the upside. We're just noticing that we do have on the 20-minute, and I think it probably breaks this, but this 2250 level right here, I'm just short against that. I do know there's momentum here, obviously, today with Penn, as Penn just continues to motor through $50 now, as Brendan brought that to our attention, but they topped out at 51 there, so let's wait to see. Obviously, DraftKings and Penn are going to trade somewhat hand-in-hand today. Similar businesses, can't go wrong there with those. And then look at this, man. Yes, sir. Here we go. Again, cha-ching as we continue to be short here. I wish we were still short Facebook, but we've beat that one dead a little bit here. So we'll just hold on to our Snapchat and see if we can't cash out, as this name should continue to go lower, especially if a much better company like Facebook is also making moves to the downside. What's up, Rendo?
9 o'clock, the earnings call started there, so it could still be on and things being said, so heads up. This one as well, Standard Lithium, we mentioned that Hindenburg report. Back to the upside, though, here in a hurry for SLI.
That was another good one. We'll do another backflip. And BCDA, like I said, right down to that $2 level. We ticked the curl, it bounced to the upside. It tried to go. You're going to see it start to fail here. I was looking at that DraftKings, which is absolutely shocked by it. But Facebook now, looking like it's making, or at least attempting, to make a new fresh ball. We've got to really zoom in because that gap down's insane. Trying to make a bottom. 237, there's nothing significant about that level whatsoever. It just happens to be where it got back in. 244 on the daily chart is where support was. This was the break at 244. Things got parabolic through there. I think that's the level on a retest to the upside. If it cannot get through 44, then there could be further pain ahead. And if you're trading a name that's related to it, you want to be making sure you're watching Pinterest. Same way I kind of watch Tesla when I'm looking at the EV space. If Facebook can't get above 244, I think some of these other names are going to be in a heck of a lot of trouble. You mentioned AMD. It's right back at that. It's right back at that 120 level after failing to break down. So this one looks like it could be a good reversal play. I think it's worth defending this 120 level if there's any chance that it comes back down here, because the overall market is reversing. Like, I know Facebook and some of the other names have been weak, but the market's coming back into the upside. So some of these beaten up names that are bouncing off good prices that had good earnings like AMD did, those are worthwhile.
All right. Okay, just my wife just sent me a message about windshield washer fluid. I don't know. Okay, DraftKings now. There's some sort of a new station that they built by the hockey arena. Okay, DraftKings right now coming down. So good trade right here for DKNG. We think it's going to break. I think it's going to break through $22. But again, why not just put a bid right here? If we could take this is only a 20 cent. This is only a $20 name, right? So we'll put a bid here quickly in case that gets defended. I'm going to cancel my 21.80 bid. I was waiting down here near VWAP, but I want to take advantage of this move down here. Like I said, I don't have pen up, but that should be watched. Here we go. Come on, there we go. Yes, sir. Another one as the Maple Leafs are playing quite nice, and we'll hit a couple slap shots right there. I believe that was a call for Brendan. What's up, bud?
UCOM guys just had a big alert there through 190, I guess, or day highs maybe. A lot of volume went off. We're back to this level from aftermarket yesterday. Qualcomm, we said, not a bad report, but it was down anyways.
Yeah, and that's so. There's a lot of things that it could have been. Someone could have had an options play that they just needed to do something crazy, or they could have just been out of their mind the way they were trying to sell in the aftermarket. There's not a lot of liquidity in the aftermarket. I mentioned I would talk about a firm here today. That's still on AMD. Why does it not flip? There you go. Here's a pop in a firm. There was no curl at 59. That was the level I was looking to test. I can show you on the one what was happening when it got to that price. It blew through it. If I don't see a consolidation level I want, I'm not taking the trade. You've got to have this set up first. It just got to the 61 level. This is a little bit more interesting. You can see here 62s, a bit of resistance in the afternoon, and a previous support level. So this is a turn which makes sense. You have it out at 62, so if I can get something above the 61 price, I would jam into that trade. BCDA, which is the shorts I have back on. Pinterest broke the high, so BCDA and that BON are all we're working with right now. That just broke $2. Looking like it could be another one. If it can get below 195, it looks a little bit more confident that we're sliding the rest of the day. For now, it's finding some support at 195. The longer it holds this, the better chance it has to retest those highs. So do be careful with these low floaters. They find a lot of support and linger too long, they're likely to try to break back out.
Oh, darn. I was just, it was just 2 seconds away from explaining this reload here on Microsoft, but we're out right there as it takes down the bottom. So again, like, this is not what we're going to do. We're not going to hold something against us, but it just takes out these recent wick bottoms. So we get out on a 90 break there. We just reloaded at 13. Remember, we got these out and then a reload there, and then now we're out again on Softy. Let's see as the market now just wants to continue to go downside. So obviously Facebook continues to crack, but we're on one today again, man. DraftKings, 40 cents now in the money. This turns out to be a good one for us as it's touching VWAP right now and probably goes even lower right now on that. Look at Snapchat. So this is 40 cents in the money on DraftKings, 60 cents now in the money on Snapchat. And of course, my biggest trade today, and we don't even still have it on, was this 250 break there. We should have obviously held it out, but maybe we are basing down here. I do see that 244 level as well. Some area of concern for me with that one. What's up, Brendo?
One of those off days where we have an economic number at 945. Market Services PMI number just came out there, 51.2 versus 50.9. So that's a reading on inflation itself, higher than expected, guys. So a little downtick there in the market.
Yeah, that'll definitely do it. And I'll tell you, like, right as that happened, I'm glad you mentioned it, because I got into AMD and I'm like, no, got to use a tight stop when economic number comes out, and then you see this acceleration to the downside. So it's only a 50-cent hit, but let's keep in mind, when you have a market turn in sentiment, if you like to defend it, you can always get out and revisit it. This was the entire reason I was able to be positive on PayPal, because we took the hit and then we found the bottom a little bit better when it retested the lows. That low was 119. Check that 118.80. So that's going to be the key. We'll go back to that price if it can get down to the low. Otherwise, reclaims VWAP, settles down, I can start thinking about that 120 level there again. I also mentioned I would look at DWAC. This BCDA and bond are just sort of hanging in the money here, so not really too worried about it. DWAC tried to get up to that 80 level and failed. I like 85, obviously, but that 80 could turn out to be some resistance. One of the few names making some strong moves off the open. It's still down on the day. And remember, they pushed back, well, not really pushed back, but that launch is going to be in March, not in Feb. And of course, somewhat related to the social space as well. So could be the reason why it had some strength. So the chance that it could pop into some of those resistance levels does make sense to me.
All right, so we did just take some more softy here, and it just goes 50 cents in the money. We didn't take it, thinking that we could go back up to the upside. We just touched there 308.65. We are long 308.23, so 40 cents back up in the money, and it's starting to go a little bit here. We are waiting in the 80s to get a little piece out if we can back here where we dumped off that other spot. We're just trying to make back what we could already make back right now what we lost, but we're going to see if it can go to the high side right now. It's Facebook motoring back upside right now, so a nice little move back up for Facebook. Let's see what this wants to do. We are still waiting for our 244 area on Facebook to punch the long. I'm going to punch the long, so let's wait to see. It probably is a good reload short area, so I just think that the momentum might carry this thing through a little bit. So let's wait to see what happens with Facebook here, trying to touch out at 243, 240. I mean, it's really 243.60, the 50 period, but you can see it touches VWAP and then fades. So right now, Facebook, I don't know if it wants to get going there. That was a nice move back off 238 bottom. So maybe we'll see if we can retest some 238s. Right now, though, I'm already long softy, waiting to get this out in the 80s. It just looks like it touched 60 a couple times, so just a little bit more upside right now for Microsoft, and we'll be able to get this out. It just stopped again. Thought it was going to go there. Maybe we adjust this and not get super, super piggy here on this, but just 10 more cents softy. Let's go to the upside. We get another big win for you. Another 50-cent winner here on softy, but still got to print me out. We're waiting at 85s. So it just stopped there at 83. Darn it, missed it by a couple pennies. Let's just readjust this.
But we do have a halt that just happened here. MTEK, Maris Tech Limited, looks like just a standard volatility halt. Just opened back up. Looks like it's going to be testing $4. This is your daily. This is your 15-minute chart, but I can quickly pop over. My daily's sort of screwed up there. But try to test up to like 365 for the obvious round number that stands out. But just be careful. This not a lot of liquidity on this name, and it's only done about 1 million shares. So it's either evens or waiting for that 2 or 3 halt rule. It tries to halt. If it halts a second time, I would be looking personally for shorts. Have to get locates first on MTEK, but another mover here. And always check that NASDAQ halts page. PayPal just broke the low of the day. Well, it's not just broke. Recently broke the low of the day. That 128.50 level does not hold up. I was looking for a consolidation for a possible long off of it. Now it looks like it could be a reload to the short. I'm sort of with Sean. I mean, the 244 is the only level I like on Facebook that kind of makes some sense to me. Ignore VWAP. I don't think that matters. I'm looking at that level from the daily perspective. If it gets up to that price, my first look is going to be a short in front of the 44. If it breaks, I think I'm just going to have a quick little stop out, and I think it can certainly be reversed. Another name which just went, wow, Square. Okay, so Square was booming. I guess PayPal broke the low, and Square decided, yeah, we're not going up today. Rejected at 110. We're all the way back to 106. That is a harsh reversal. Square was looking like it was going to bounce. Remember, 102, major support on Square. And just going back over to that VCDA, I want to make sure that we're monitoring these trades. There's been a forever buyer. Every time this gets below $2, it's not necessarily, this is not an iceberg order. It's just every time it plunges below 2, there is a buyer that brings it right up back up to the $2 level. But MTEK, that's a new one on the list. Got to add it to my watch. You know I love these halt trades.
And yeah, we are just, again, a big trading here. We'll go bang for Snapchat. Look at Snapchat. Now 90 cents in the money on the downside for Snapchat. 50 cents now in the money on DraftKings on the short side of things. So we maybe cover this one. The market, I don't know. I just don't know what the market's going to do here. We're bouncing around the 50 period. What's up, Mark? Bouncing around the 50 period right now on the market. So we'll definitely check that out right here. I may just get out of DraftKings if we do take out this 80 level. That was an area for me anyways on DraftKings that we were sort of, oh, there it goes. It just took it out. Let's just bid out DraftKings right now if we can. There it is. Yes, sir. Another one. Wow. As DraftKings paying dividends for sure today. Good trade there for me. That's another one. We're perfect today so far. Microsoft, we got that 70 bid. We talked about that, or offer, sorry. We got that right there on the rip back up. Now it's just dancing around, possibly 308 break to the downside. Now, I just feel like the market's not doing horribly right now. It's just hovering around here. So I feel like Microsoft should start to go back to the upside. And I am a little bit worried about Snapchat. Maybe we've seen a bottom there in Snapchat, but still $1 in the money. We should be happy with it, and we are. So another name that we've been really patient with and traded it real well. I didn't pay for shorts today. Let me just throw out 100 shares. Yeah, we got to pay for shorts again. So we'll look at Robinhood today a little bit, but again, it's got to get back up to these levels like 1480. This is where we shorted yesterday on Robinhood. Let's see if the trade's not here. I don't think no. Unfortunately, we did have these exact tops yesterday. So we'll wait to see what happens with Robinhood today as we're back up one more time, 1415. 14 and change here on Hood, the new high of the day. It looks like Softy just wants to continue to go downside. Oh, we should not have got out of our DraftKings, guys, as that's now coming back down. But we took out VWAP. We thought the market wanted to go. Let's just get out of Softy for flat here and worry about it if and when it finally bottoms.
And watch out for like a lot of these names that were great shorts are still looking like they're the same thing. And look at Lucid. I mean, we trade Lucid basically every day except for today. You mentioned Robinhood. Lucid pumped right to afternoon support at 28.25. Marked that level
down,
of all, and then fell down 75 pennies. So it's just flushing like an absolute rock. Pins is also starting to get back into the range for the short trade. It just pumped back into the 25s, made a top at 25.50, and is trying to reverse. The key thing here is if Facebook breaks out, I would not want to reload. It goes without saying, we probably said it already. If Facebook breaks out 244, I don't want to be caught in short in Pinterest. So Facebook first, Pinterest after.
Yeah, we're already long Facebook right now. So here we go. We're long 243.70. Let's see what happens right now with Facebook as we're going to touch that 244 area. We just touched it in reverse.
That was a break.
So watch out here. It just touched 244. Let's see what happens there. Yeah, I don't know if it broke it. It probably broke it. It looked like it did maybe for a second.
I didn't.
Yeah, our candle has 02 there. But a break there of Facebook. So let's wait to see what happens now. It looks like it's fading out a little bit here. We're long at 70, so we could take a piece out if it comes back up to 244. But again, we're not trying to take 30 cents on Facebook, are we? What's up, Brendan?
Another one in the EV space, little EV maker. Lightning E-Motors up this morning on a General Motors partnership to electrify some medium-duty trucks. So it was up here 520, 530 in the pre-market. We're trying to hold below 5 right now, but still decent volume here for ZEV.
All right.
So I'm gonna ring. I'll ring Reggie. It looks like it was more like a failed break. It wicked up. I had like a dark pool print. I think you're right about that, Sean. They didn't go to 245, but there might have been a dark pool that legitimately went a little bit above that. So look, the risk to reward on that trade. I'm at 71 shorts. We're risking about 50 cents if you factor in slippage. So when it gets 2-to-1 down at that 241, 243 level, I'm going to take some out. It's a strong move back to the upside. So anytime I make this trade, I'm not thinking about lows of the day here. I'm thinking about where this consolidation was, and that's from 40s to 42. So if it breaks 42, I want to get out somewhere inside of this range and not let it reclaim that 42 level. Until it breaks, I don't really have much to do. My stop is still going to be at that 44. So we got our first trade into Facebook, and by the way, there's a buyer at 42. As I say that, on the bid, there's actually a legitimate level at 42. Oh, why?
Yeah, we're reloaded up here a little bit. We'll just see where it goes from here. Everything's fine. Snapchat right now is making that move back to the upside as well. So yeah, we're still short this name, but again, it is making the move back up to the upside. My out's going to be like 241.50 probably here, where we started this move, and then even lower than that, a 240 break maybe. Let's just see what happens. I mean, you know, we're going to go long here, just hoping for that big move back up to the upside. And obviously, I was saying that this area might have also been a short there, but we'll see. I couldn't believe how fast that came up. I mean, it just rocketed up there. So that could have been an indication for sure. We're long at 243.20. So we'll wait to see. We could definitely afford to hold on to this one. So Facebook right now, here it goes. Now we're back to flat on FB. So a good little hold there. But again, it's kind of just bouncing around. So maybe because of this exposure, we'll take out a piece if it gets back up to that 244 area. And then after that, I have an offer. Yeah, just above 244. So let's wait to see what happens. Facebook just dancing right now. Brendan, tell me Facebook got upgraded or something.
I wish. Tesla, guys, back to 900, testing 900 right as we speak. There was a couple of senators apparently that were making some headlines this morning talking about that brake flaw. If you remember earlier this week, we mentioned that the self-driving software, there was an issue in some vehicles with automated braking, and it was actually rolling once stopped, so it wasn't coming to a complete stop. So they were talking about that in Washington this morning. But Tesla back to 900.
Attaboy. That's probably why Lucid made that pop that I missed out on. But there was a buyer. I threw it in the chat there. There was an actual, there was a legitimate 242 buyer that was on the bid, good size, got hit, refreshed twice, and then you just saw it just load up, load up, load up. So when it got back to 243, I said if there's any similar thing at 243, which there was for a brief second there, I just said I'm going to get out. It still gives you over that 2-to-1 risk to reward. But again, playing off a level like that, sometimes you get it, and then it's an absolute flush, and other times you have to take more of the scalp end of the trade. But as long as the risk to reward is there, I think with those types of trades, you have to be able to watch what's going on in the level 2. And when I see an iceberg on a stock where people might want to buy and it's down 25%, a lot of people will think that that's too much. You don't want to get caught trapped at the bottom. There's no way I want that to happen to me on Facebook. You mentioned Tesla there. Lucid is coming back up to that 28.50 level. 30 is the actual high of the day, but it's 28.50. You probably remember that a couple of days ago on the daily chart. That's been a pretty solid level, 28.50. So if it pops, I wouldn't stop out at the high of the day. I'd be looking at 28.50 as an out in Lucid.
Okay, so I mean, I'm just going to focus. So we just took some out there as it popped back up. So we definitely took some pressure off there. I mean, these are winning trades. We could still lose on this name. It looks like if it takes that out, that 41.50. Just want to make sure I don't have too many orders out here. Here it comes. So coming right back to the downside, and there it is. So there it is. So we tried it, won on a piece, lost on the next. Oh. So Facebook there does come back in, and that was that, man. That, you know, reloaded right there. We know, look, it's down on the day, right? So to try to catch a long is a tough one. Let's just wait to see what does happen right there on FB. Snapchat obviously coming back in as well. I think I'm just going to take an 80 bid on this if we can get it. It's been a nice move to the downside. Where's DraftKings? Still pushing down right now on DraftKings. So let's just hold our Snapchat short, and then we'll wait to see if Facebook does make another bottom there. I mean, that bottom wick of 241 is a little spicy. I still don't mind this 243 break one more time. So let's watch out to see if that can come into play right now for Facebook. But we are ready to rock and roll, it looks like, with Brendan over there at the big screen. I have a feeling like this market's not as bad as we think, but he's going to tell us right now what's happening now.
Hey guys, yeah, choppy start overall. We'll have a look at how we're doing so far. 1.5 there for the S&P at the top of the board, but it's all about the NASDAQ. As we started the show, I mentioned going to be about tech stocks today, 2.7, 2.3 there for the 100 and the composites NASDAQ. All three of the Russell indexes sharply lower as well, along with the Dow. But back and forth, a lot of choppy action, as we mentioned off the start here. I brought up this Qualcomm. We were testing this level from aftermarket yesterday. Comes right back down, all the way back through the range almost for QCOM. So a little relative weakness coming into play there for Qualcomm. And Block, yeah, back to support, pre-market support. Anyways, we'll see what happens here. Down around 105 again, guys, for SQ.
Yeah, that, like, Block was, we were actually just talking about that. Block was really making a strong move to the upside before it reversed. I'm just going to check back in after getting shook on Facebook a little bit there, shaking out of what probably would have been a bigger winner. But again, I'm going to take the profit if I see conditions that were changing on me. Didn't want to get trapped. Bond has now made a consolidation low, at least for now, at that 380 level, in front of 3.25. And if I'm playing it in front of 450 and then holding a 4-quarter break, taking some out in front of 4, and then looking at that next quarter down, I'll be at least a little bit cautious. I'm still holding on to a quarter of the position here. So if it does bounce back up, got to make that decision. For now, it looks like it's a reload at that 420 level, which was the previous bottom. But that can definitely change. If you get a big volume spike into that, I wouldn't want to be shorting into any kind of a parabolic move. And the other one, which it's been profitable, that BCDA, both these low float type names, this did find that support at 195. You'll see I actually haven't gotten back into this in front of the high of the day. It immediately made support at that pre-market, not higher low, I should suppose. It's not the pre-market low. So I think it can actually retest the high. It's at a 2-quarter top. It breaks 2-quarter. This one could really start to run. So, I'm only going to reload if it's right in front of that 220 level. Otherwise, I want to be sitting it out there, guys. And, Metacom, I'm glad you got it. I'm glad you got the Affirm trade, because I'm sitting a couple of others, but I didn't get that Affirm. I'm glad someone captured an Affirm, falling $3 off the top.
Oh man, we just went to the bathroom there, and there it is, $2.50 in the money. Let's go. We got you, Facebook. We got you, or do we? Who knows? But there it is, Facebook. A nice little reload down there. Like, we got dumped off, but that's fine. We were just going to get back in there, and now we make all that money back, and we're at the highest spot we've been at all day now on Facebook. As there's a cough button I never hit, so that's my bad. Take some water here. Hydration Nation, get ready to rock and roll. Okay, so 244 right there. We'll take that. I mean, we took out half. We were waiting for a reload, but that didn't happen, so we'll wait for Facebook to get to the upside right there. And look what happens to Snapchat. Oh my God, there we go, Ape Nation right here. Look at Snapchat, comes all the way down and we get that bid. So here's the short on Snapchat, 26.50. First out right there, 26.14. Next out there, 25.80. So far today, it's nothing but love here. I mean, we've won on Snapchat, was a great short. Microsoft was a great long here, you know, and thank God we were able to, like, look at this. Long here and out, right? Long there and out there. So that's a 309.10 out. 308.70, right? So that's 40 cents worth of a hit. Look at this one. That's a 308.20 bid, out 308.76. So that's 60 cents on the win. And then we dump it out for a 10-cent loss. So this trade here is flatted out. That's the winner there on Softy. DraftKings, I mean, damn it, but great. We were short DraftKings there, out, and look where we are now on DraftKings. And then to review our Facebook trading today, I mean, short here early, 250, can't complain there, out 247.80, so that's $2, and then we took $5 there on the way back up before we watched it completely like collapse. And then even as I look back at my Twitter, I said to myself, and thanks again for all the love here on the sticky note, but this is what I said right now. Where do we get out? And I'll have to find that one here. I'll find it after, but I was like, oh, maybe we'll get out when we see a capitulation bottom. Well, that's exactly what happened here, and I didn't do that at all. So we waited and got out on a break of 245, which was ridiculous. But right now, here we go. We are now $3 in the money on this one, so let's go, hell yeah. Please, guys, hit the like button. Neil's got the winners on. We've got the winners on. This is $3 now in the money for Facebook. So hit the like, hit the subscribe, and more importantly, hit the share, man. Put this on your Twitter. Tell everybody what the best trading show on YouTube is.
And wow, Square. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, PayPal through the low of the day obviously would have been a good one, but at the same time, Square went right back into what was yesterday's low, what was also the low on the end of the month, that 110 area, and the hardest rejection you're going to see here. I mean, a firm turnaround, but Square ran to the. I mean, they haven't even reported yet, and again, if you haven't reported yet, and a name in your space, in the fintech space getting crushed, you're going to be in some trouble. 102 is the double bottom. That's the only level I think is going to be worth defending here. So if we get to 102, you'll probably see me in a Square long. If it tries to pop, I think 110. And then we talked about DWAC at 80. While BCDA retested the high, I reloaded in for 225. It broke that 225. And as I was doing that, this is what happened over in DWAC at that 80 level. It popped, got to 79.80, and then reversed back into VWAP. Now it's retesting almost instantly that 80 level. DWAC could be primed for a break. I'm going to go 80 long. If I got the short the first time, I would have taken it, but the second time through with this kind of strength, I think I'd rather be trying that little bit of a breakout. It's got to go right away because I do tend to favor shorts in the name, but it looks like DWAC is trying to go upside here today.
Yeah, DWAC, a good name.
It's also positive to negative to positive if it breaks.
Look at Facebook, guys. $4 now in the money on that name. Yeah, I don't mind an 80 break on DWAC as well. I did not pay for the short, so excuse me. We will have to try to take this one on an 80 break. I don't mind it. DWAC. Here goes Facebook, though, guys. Sorry, that's the daily chart. Here we go. So buy. Good. We got out of some there and then lost, so that's almost a flat trade. And now we're going back right up to these levels again of 245. Maybe we've just gone a little too high here on that one. We will get into, oh no, DWAC breaks and we don't get in as it makes a move to the upside there on DWAC. Just takes out that 80. We didn't cross up high enough. I don't even know what printed in there on that 80 break, just to give you guys.
I got sevens.
Oh, well, that's the best ever. Yeah, sevens is a great long.
NASDAQ scan, thanks, guys.
Yeah. That's funny because I put it only up to 10 on NASDAQ scan and missed it. So, all right, that's a good trade there. DWAC breaking to the upside. Obviously, you're going to hold that one to see if it moons. That's a good trade. We tried it. We missed it. We are still on the bid to see if we can get that back in. But, again, you wait for DWAC to see that 82 yesterday, a key level. That's something to look out for. 84 maybe as well to the upside. So let's see what DWAC can do.
Yeah, I mean, on any breakout trade, I'm always looking to scalp a portion of it because you see those failed breaks, they can reverse pretty hard. So I always want to bank a little bit. I've already taken some out for the quick hit, and then it will take some more in front of 81, but you nailed it. Like that lower high at 82, I want to be out because the double top at 85, again, like that's probably a level I want to short. We'll go to Brendan. but I just got a Zila fill this week.
Just looking at GameStop, guys. Note on GameStop there, they've selected this immutable X and their liquidity solution for their gaming-focused NFT marketplace. Wasn't much of a reaction on that headline, but 98 holding there for GME.
I think $98 on GME.
GME is 90. I was trying to look. I'm just trying to pay for shorts on DWAC. I was looking for AMC today, and it's actually on the sticky notes, so we can have a quick look at AMC as I get more shares for DWAC here. We just we just reloaded that one on the downside there, so we took a 30 bid because we missed the first one, and then we got it reloaded down there at $80.10. So let's see what this wants to do. As we were, well, it depends. I mean, the spread, like this is spready, boy. You got 50 cents right here on DWAC. So that's, very, very spready. But right now we're $4 in the money, obviously, there, or $3.50 in the money on Facebook. And then just checking back on Microsoft, back up to 309. This is like my favorite stock. So we definitely have to look at this one to see if we can't trade that. How low is Snapchat right now? Okay, back up. What about DraftKings? Okay, good. So far, these only traded 4 names. I think that's what we're going to do. We're absolutely perfect today on all 4 of these. And then we just added a 5th, which is going to be DWAC here, which we're already in the money 20 cents. So let's see what happens here. We obviously don't want to take this. We're hoping for a little bit. See, the spread is just killing us here on DWAC. It just needs to get going, but the market's now coming back in a bit.
That's one of the reasons why, like a break like that, when the spread opens back up, I just took the next leg of profit in front of 81s there on DWAC. Now I'm just going to hold on to the last little bit for that home run, hopefully to 82. But Zila, it popped in, and I was sitting on the offer in front of an 84 level, just sort of looking at these trades from the last couple of days and thinking, okay, if it pops into that, I'll get filled. But then it was a scream to the upside when I wasn't paying attention. Parabolic move in. So I'm like, I'll just take the penny hit. Let's regroup. I actually want to see it curl first. You guys know I like that. Let's see it reject first. It tried to get to 85. There was a bit of a rejection. Then I threw the offer 84.5. I'll maybe chase it a little bit because I was willing to take 83.5 before. So now I want to see if we can dig into it. Remember, Zila is in an upward trend, but it has a couple of things that it rejected. It tried to get through the 50 period there at 90, couldn't get through 95 on the way to $1 and put in its first capitulation candle. Now it's trying to make a bit of a head and shoulders. And the previous high was a little bit higher than that 85, was actually up here at 87, and I was shorting it there. So I don't want to be digging in too far away from that 87 price, hence why I got immediately out of the initial trade and then jumped back in for a smaller size to start at 84. But 87 was that head and shoulders. 85 is, I know it's a round number, 5, 10, 15, all that kind of nonsense. But 87 a couple of days ago was the top.
Oh, spin it! Facebook is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone's favorite emoji, or whatever that thing is called. Right there, Facebook now $6 in the money. It just touched 247.50 there, guys. And how about your boy with DWAC? Rain it down. Here we go to the upside as this, look at this, in, long, out. Still have a piece of DWAC there. That was right there, $1.20 or so on that move for DWAC. Yes, sir. That's exactly what, $1.30, my bad, good math. $1.30 to the upside right there as we take a piece out, and we still got a piece on. So DWAC to the moon right now, guys, hopefully. And then I might just get this out on Facebook. Like, how much higher do we really think this name is going to go here today? We're nicely in the money now. We've absolutely destroyed this name. So I'm thinking right about here is good, man. 247, let's get this out. If it can get us out at 247, we'll just like rest on our laurels here with DWAC. We'll put an offer there right near 247. Hopefully we can grab that out, and that will be that, and we'll wipe up another $5 right there on Facebook. So what's been a good day for us here is hopefully going to get better, but let's go Facebook. Maybe we get that touch up here, and we get that out, and it looks like we are about to get it, man. We're right at 246.90 now. So we get a little bit of a move up. We can get this out 30 more cents, and your boy will take another $5 winner on this name. So here we go. Let's go to the upside. And then the only other position we have, DWAC. We're still in control of this name, but we've already cashed out 1/3, 2/3. So we still have 1/3 back on. And honestly, if it breaks below 80, we'll probably just take this out and then ring the register for the final move there on DWAC. But so far, so good, guys. And I just don't want to let this go back. You know, that's the way I'm trading it. So a nice little win there on DWAC. Thanks for that notice, guys.
Yeah, and Zila, by the way, it looks like it's going to make that curl. I want to add here, DWAC, I'm actually on the offer in front of 82s. We did already mention that. But watch, Square is really starting to come back. So it's it broke 105. This is now a triple bottom since the open, but like a quadruple bottom if you count this in the pre-market, which wasn't a heck of a lot of volume, but it's definitely there. This market is trying to bounce. That's probably the only thing holding Square up. I'm on the bid in front of 102. It looks like it's in the middle of nowhere, but this is the reason why I want to sit in front of this bid in Square. It ran, obviously, from 102, and in 3 days it was trading at 130. Block, square, whatever, it doesn't really matter. And then we're going to be right back at 102. So in the span of 4 sessions, you go from 102 to 130 and then all the way back. I think it's worth at least one defense off that key price. I'd also be careful about Facebook. That 250 level could loom a little bit large. It does feel like DWAC is running out of steam. But that's why I think on a breakout, you've got to be able to take profit. You know, on a higher time frame, you will see that lower high at 82. Some trouble getting through that. So it might not give me the short at 85, but that's fine. The long still won.
One more time. How come we don't hear the volume on that anymore? Did we disconnect that, Lucas? Can you guys still hear? Let me know if you guys still hear that. Let me know if you guys still hear that money thing, because I didn't hear it there. Let me know if you did, and that's fine. And the reason why is because there it is, man, as clean as we could be right there on Facebook, man. A beautiful out there on FB, up at the high side, 247. No audio on that, guys. No audio.
They can't hear it. They're saying they can't hear it.
There we go. There we go. Now everyone's happy. Yeah, so you haven't been hearing, I don't know if you guys have been hearing anything. Did you hear that yeah or anything like that? But right now, Tim already screwing things up. So good job, Tim. Just playing
That's
around.
Cold, man.
Just playing around.
It's been literally an hour and 44 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
There it is.
So
That's
there it is. I mean, I got to introduce him to who I am. You know what I mean? Right there.
We have to throw under the bus graphic too.
Entertainer here. Entertainer, Tim. This is a show that we're doing, guys. But there it is, right there, guys. Facebook. Oh, I have a throw you under the bus, Neil. Hold on.
It's this one.
No, that's the wrong one. That's me chasing the bus.
That's a chase the bus.
Hold on, I'm gonna throw Tim under the.
Dang it.
By the way, that had nothing to do with Tim. I'm just saying. Okay, here it is, right here. Here's Neil throwing me, and here comes the bus. Watch out. That's a pretty violent graphic, actually. I don't know.
I'm supposed to have the same.
I don't know if we should have that one.
It is a bit more.
But there it is, though. We're just playing around. Obviously, we're expanding, and we love to have Tim on board. Welcome to the jungle, my friend. Like I said before, we got fun and games. So there it is right now. A nice little win there for Facebook, all the way to the upside. And then, by the way, we're still in a 90-cent win here on DWAC. So far, so good, guys. It's 10:15. I'm going to check in on likes. Normally, this is Miss V doing this, and you'll hit the like more for her than for me. Whoops. I don't know where that went, but 1.7K, guys. Hit the like if you can. Turn your little mobile the other way around. Hit the like button if you haven't yet. Over 7,000 people watching, I thought I just saw. Let's see if we can get the like button to get pumped up a little bit. We have a great afternoon show coming with you, and that's going to be Trader Pratt and, of course, Arun in the building one more time until Miss V comes back. As we still working on the desk. Mark, again, this guy don't stop working. Beside us, we have a new desk opening up. We just expanded our stage. It's like a bowling alley in here right now. As there goes DWAC all the way back up to 82 right now. A good win for us, $1.25.
I didn't get filled.
Come on.
Give me a break. I'm like, it got right to my price and then didn't actually fill me up there. By the way, I'm watching that fun stock. I keep, every time someone brings it up, just remember it's a $60 offer. If it gets to that price, that's the price for days I've been looking to possibly fade. Getting rather close, but the volume is absolutely putrid. DWAC, unfortunately, gets weird. Oh, yeah, it got up there. There was probably like a dark pool print, but I am sitting on the offer pretty much at the high of the day. That's right at that 82 mark. It breaks 82, and I'm looking for a short in front of 85, but somewhere between 82 and 85 is where I'm expecting a possible turn on DWAC, and that's why I want to get out. We talked a little bit. I mentioned the 102 level on Square. That was going down. It made a bit of a bounce. Facebook should have hung on to the short. It is what it is. I saw that forever buyer and decided I didn't want to be fighting it. It looks like it's headed back towards that 250. Nice climb up, but it's starting to show some signs of slowing down. 250 is your obvious level, and there it is. We can finally ring the register on DWAC. Now that it's at that through that 82, I'm hunting for the short trade on DWAC. I paid for the short. I'm looking 85s.
Let's go halt. Let's just go halt.
No, it's not halting.
No, okay. Let's go to the upside DWAC, man. Let's go. $3 now in the money on DWAC, so we're happy with that one. We'll wait, man. Maybe 80, maybe 83.50 is a good level on this one, but let's just see what happens here today. We'll probably take out this 84. We'll see if it does, but that's a key level there, 85. So we'll identify that and see what happens if we do get back up to that level. Oh, man, getting out of Mr. Softy was a mistake, obviously, as look where Softy is all the way back upside. But today it's an absolutely, do I even have the Street Fighter thing on here? Because today it's a perfect day for me. We would have liked to have held, no, I don't think I have that one on. It was a good day, so we'll go fruit salad time here as we'll celebrate a little bit with the fruit salad. And that goes to our breakfast that we've already mentioned here. I got to go get some fruit salad at some point. Microsoft 311 top, that's what we're looking at right there. That would have been a good short. That just happened, though, was 50 cents ago. So we'll see what happens there with this move. 311 was a good top there. We'll see about reloading this if it gets back down to 309.50 for Softy. But let's just review what else is on our list here. Facebook crushed. What I'm doing right now is looking at my own notes here. Facebook crushed, Snapchat crushed, Microsoft crushed, Ford and AMC not looked at. So let's have a quick look at Ford and at AMC right now as we go. There is .NY. Oh, okay. It just didn't get low enough, man. We talked about it opening up down here near 20 bucks, and the NASDAQ was pushing 3%. So we did have bids lower than 20, not filled, but at least we were right about the move to the upside there, as there goes DWAC again, $3 now in the money. And then what is this next one? AMC. Ooh, Brendan and Neil mentioned GameStop breaking a hundy, I think. But ooh,
and it's right back.
Yeah, look,
I was actually, this is the stock I'm looking at right now.
14.50.
What on GameStop? There's multiple levels I like. 110 we mentioned yesterday. And if we get to 107, that's the other level. I think it could be worth it for reversal short. I think this one could start to come back in. All of these sort of meme-ish type names are moving, so watch out for if you're watching DWAC, watch out for Funware, CFDI. Like, you know, these can move in tandem, and you should be watching the leader. So if you're watching AMC, watch GameStop. If you're watching DWAC, watch Fun. Those are going to go back and forth following each other. But I like 107, then 110 on GME. GameStop has been my preferred trade, usually to the short side. Recently, longs on AMC, shorts on GameStop is just the way I've chosen to go about it.
Yeah, just tweeting out here that we're able to catch a positive result on all 5 names today so far. So that's a good one. And we just want to talk about DWAC because right now we are trying to get going here off of the bottom here for DWAC. So just watch out. It just touched out at 83.50. We will try to find some more names for you. And by the way, guys, I don't know, Brendan, did I miss something on Tesla today? Because, wow, Tesla, you want to talk about a move to the upside. Like, look at this one. 880 bottom, guys. Look at Tesla. Stops a little bit, right? Has a little bit of a fun here at 900, and then it goes like, see ya, all the way to the upside, 924 for Tesla. So that is motoring to the top side right here for TSLA. So I don't know if we missed something. Let me check out on NEO quickly here. That's of course an NY name. I saw someone say that they cleaned up on NEO, Lucid, and Tesla today. So congratulations, whoever that was. Look, yeah, no crap you teed up on that one. And then what's Rivian? Rivian, Randy, I'm still waiting for that 50 one more time. Yeah, so is Randy, so that's always good. When I'm great minds like Randy, I'm happy to join him in that trade. So we'll wait to see here if this comes back down. It does hit 59 right there. The reason why I'm waiting for 50, right here. Look, if we just bought it, Randy, back on the 28th, today's the 3rd, you would have had right there 40% in 3 days. Like, this market is completely detached from reality, but I like it, and I like it a lot. It allows us to trade this market and have some big success here today, so we're pretty happy with it. But without any further ado, unless you want to wrap something up, you're fine, right?
Yeah, 107 in front of GameStop. I gave you the level. I'm short in GME. And also watch out.
Oh, my God.
Square is right back to that 110 level as well, too.
Look at Facebook, guys, just ripping off right now. Facebook has been a pretty easy trade today, to be honest with you. We only stepped up one time and messed up on one long, but then we've absolutely crushed it. Facebook will be your trade of the day, and it's a good one so far here. I'm not shorting anymore. I'm just going to wait for this one to come back into some levels that we like, 242, 243. Without any further ado, though, it's Brendan over there at the big screen. It's Small Cap Recap. Let's go.
Hi, guys. Another relative relatively quiet morning in small cap land, but we'll give you a look at a couple of these. BON was talking about this kind of consolidation over here, which is around 440 and then up to 475, which was the pre-market high there. But this kind of channel on the daily chart, pretty obvious coming into that right now. The only thing is 3.3 million share float. So just be careful on this one. A little bit of buy volume trying to keep it back above that 4 area to 420. Key for that one. Biocardia. Yeah, it's a sleepy one so far today. Same story. 225, 250 on the daily chart are two significant levels, but I mean, not really doing much. It's stuck in basically a 25-cent range, guys, for BCDA. Back over to you.
So your good luck, Brendan. We'll definitely do, I don't know. We'll use this one tonight, using a different key here. GameStop goes to that 107 level, kind of touches it, 98s it looks like. I was short in the mid-range there at 44, at right about 50. Already scalped it out, first level down when it goes a buck away from that level, maybe like $1.50 or so. And then again, I'm never really trying to hit like the home run, has to retrace the entire way going counter trend. It just needs to give me that, 104.5 range, grab a couple of bucks on the trade. Once you've scalped out, like it can't, unless you do not have a stop at the high, it can't turn into a losing trade. But if you let it go, the next level up is 110. Like that's just averaging into the ether on a stock which is absolutely running. So you take your profit and run. I think that makes a heck of a lot more sense. I was looking for a little bit higher in DWAC for the reversal. It got to 83.50. That's not close enough to 85 for the short trade. And then it was a similar thing. If I had taken a shot at Square Block, I guess if they don't change the ticker, I'm just going to keep calling it Square because it's SQ, man. I look at SQ. I'm going to say Square. It doesn't quite get to that 110. It screams off the bottom, gets to 108.75. So again, that risk to reward not there. If it's going to be screaming back to the upside, I've got to make sure that the risk to reward fits for me. That would mean under $1. Had to go a little bit closer to that top because I'm giving it to 110, not the 109.65-ish high. The other curl, I was waiting for 87s on Zila. As I mentioned to you guys when I zoomed it out and went to the 15-minute chart, if that'll flip for me. So that's the 87 level here. My trades suddenly from 2 days ago have disappeared. I got up to 87. I tried getting more shares at 86 on the way down. Did not, as you can see me chasing it there. I can now cancel those. So I was looking to add to this 3x. It just never happened. I still want to consolidate more in front of the 87 top. It doesn't look like it wants to cooperate with me here. It looks like it's just going to fall. I still have some at 83.5, but this is what I was trying to get more of at 87.
All right, so we're gonna go into Square here, but we're not gonna be in this for a long time if it does break down through. We get a 106.30 bid, so we're in the money 10 cents. Wow. Let's just wait to see what happens. It just did touch down to 105.70 there. We're not gonna average in. That's gonna be my out down here, 105.70 and change. So if it does drop to the downside, we could have our first loser on board here. But look at the NASDAQ. This is just an aggressive play. This is why we're not loading up on anything here. We're just kind of just gonna throw some shares around here on Square and see what happens, because the NASDAQ, this is what I always look at, and I mean, we're well off. We've extended away from the 50 period. So again, in a market that was pretty sick today, it is manageable, reasonable to think that this does retrace back into some of these levels, as it can't be green shoots ahead, right? So let's just wait to see. Hopefully Square can battle. We'll see what PayPal's doing here on this one. But if we can get out some out at 107, man, we'll take 70 cents on that. Here's PayPal. We don't need the daily. I need the minute on PayPal. Here it is right now. So it's trying to go upside a little bit. There goes Square right now. So yeah, we might as well, guys, take a piece out on Square. It's a nice trade here. It's all the way up to 80. So if we can get an offer out, we will do that as we try to close the gap and then get it. Bang! There it is again. Another one right now. So we're on one today as there goes Square. 7 for 7 today trading for you guys. Oh, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for 6. And all clean, man. Super clean. Like Mr. Clean. Easy entries today. Easy to follow the trades. I mean, the DWAC trade doesn't get any cleaner than an 80 break. We didn't get it initially, but we took it there and then got the average in as it dumped back in. That's a clean trade. Square is one in there. That's pretty clean there. And then Facebook's the only messy one other than that. But Snapchat, a nice win as well to the downside. So Square, good take as it just dropped right back in.
Yeah, I just got out. I'm going to take it out quickly on GameStop. Remember, going counter trend, I'm telling you to put parabolic. GameStop, keep in mind, like it just broke $100 off the open and looked like it was going for another fall, holds the pre-market lows. So when you get a strong move like that, You want to make sure that it doesn't give a consolidation off of this. That's the pre-market high at 103.60. Zero coincidence I'm getting out in front of it, so quickly get in and out. When I see something going parabolic, always do your diligence. First thing you do is go to the higher time frame and try to find a point of failure before, and not just a place where it stopped. A place where it stopped and fell. Like if you look at what happened at 107 a few days ago, it dropped 107 all the way down to 93. Then in the afternoon yesterday, it got up to at 1 o'clock, it got to 107, and it dropped through 100. So when it's bouncing off 100, where are you going to go short? You're going to wait patiently. You don't try getting in at 4s, 5s. Forget about the high of the day. Goes to 107. If that had failed, I would have come right back to that 110 level and then maybe even 114. But once it's gone too far, I'm then looking for the retracement. Zila's now back into VWAP. I'm starting to take some shares out in front of VWAP. I did miss the ad on Zila, but I think I didn't remember this because it was up on the day. Zila was short sell restricted. So when I tried to hit the bid, when it turned at 87, you needed an uptick. And if I had remembered it was short sell restricted, I would have been on the offer on the way to 87. Bit of a mistake by me. The stock can be up on the day, but if it was down over 10% the day before, then it certainly falls SSR.
All right. Yeah, good trade there. GameStop here, as we still are $2 in the money on DWAC. We're just going to wait to see if it takes out this 83.50. Not much happening there, as it looks like it may do that. Remember the spread here, guys? So this does have a chance to go, and we'll just wait. Like, it's 40 cents on the spread, right? So we really are in the money if we take the offer 250 right now. That's a good trade. Square bouncing around. Like I said, I'm not in love with the NASDAQ here, so we may just take Square out. But the NASDAQ could keep going. Let's take Square out if it takes out this 106.30 and just put what we've made in our pocket and move on. So Square right now, if it wants to take it out, we'll get out of here. But we're going to go over to Brendan right now.
Another one that reported, guys, Honeywell, we were talking about it briefly in the pre-market there. Yeah, still down at day lows, basically, after the revenue missed on their report. It was 195, though. If you zoom out on the daily chart, a decent level for HON. Trying to find a bottom for Honeywell, it would appear anyways. At this point, don't go anywhere. Coming up in about 15 minutes. Yeah, we're going to have Guild on the show, a UK-based gaming company, going to tell us their story. This company co-owned by none other than David Beckham, guys. David Beckham. So Guild coming up in about 15 minutes.
It's pretty cool.
Talk about Posh Spice.
I will. You guys know I'm more of a Liverpool fan, so Michael Owen, baby. No, don't get me wrong. David Beckham, unbelievable. I think it'll be a good guest. I mean, it always is. So make sure you tune in for that. And also remember, we have another half an hour to go here. But Platinum Prad and Arun are going to be back in the middle of the day. I think it's going to be another great show. The futures are moving, and that's why you want to make sure that you're tuning in there. I did want to come back over to DWAC. It never, like I said, you wait for your price level. I know it's turning right now, and it's like, yeah, but why don't you go short when it makes that turn? Well, in GameStop, I wait for 107. 107 was the price. You wait for it, you get in. DWAC, when it's running like this, you've got to have a level. It's like, so when it gets in, it turns at that price. You know this is where I'm wrong. And if I think I'm wrong at 85 and you go short at 83, well, then suddenly your risk is $2 in slippage. And if that doesn't fit your plan, then you can't short it at 83. It's just a simple answer for me, and the answer was no, even if it ends up working out. I'll be happy that we followed our rules. We talked a little bit about Spotify. Well, we keep talking about Spotify. I don't know if either. Did you trade Spotify today?
No.
Yeah, so there was one chance in the morning on Spotify up at 175, and that wick, the spread, I'm telling you, it was up there so fast, it then fell $20. And then tried to come back $10 and is reversing again. So Spotify getting absolutely crushed. This was one where it's one thing to be like, okay, we like to short, but unless you were right there, maybe sitting on the offer at 174 right at the open to just get scooped up, I don't know that there was a decent way to capture that trade, but falling like an absolute rock going into earnings. I guess it's still up from the pre-market post-market lows, but those post-market lows are absolutely insane. So I mean, I don't know how much credence you put into it when it already fell like $50 into those levels. It's too thin to maybe give them too much effort. It actually caught a bid at 155, and then now that's the new low. So 155, if that breaks, I mean, I guess the post-market lows were in play, but there's nothing weaker than Spotify. I don't want to feel like we're ignoring it, but did miss the trade at the open.
Wow. I was getting nervous about Square and Y, man. I mean, we should have $1.50 in the money. We took it out right there for like 30 cents on that VWAP. So, wow, just absolutely horrible there getting out of Square. But hey, we just add it, man. It's 6 for 6. When you go 6 for 6 sometimes, you know, that's like a free throw line move. Boom, right there. Shout out to the Raptors who continue to be balling as well. So shout out to you guys beating the Miami Dolphins, Miami Heat. Some controversy with the Miami Dolphins, that's for sure. Yeah, we'll just go dab up. So if you guys have been following the trading today, it's been a good one, man. Including DWAC, including Square. We just added Square to the chart there for a nice little move today. We could check out Google, and this is what I mean, guys. Like, I'm in a pretty good mood despite what Facebook did. I mean, I'm pretty happy that at least it's not continuing to crank lower. Facebook right now at 247. We had the 241 long, but what I was bringing up here was Google. Like, we bought Google yesterday, man. And I mean, today it's up again. We made 2% yesterday on Google. We're making another 0.5% today. And honestly, Google's running to 3,300. So we'll see what happens here on that name. Google for the win, always and forever. Let's wait to see what happens with Apple. Apple 175 as well. So although the NASDAQ getting pumped today, obviously off of Apple, you can see what the big guy is doing, man. 175 right now and making higher moves and only down 0.06. Almost flat for the big dog today. So yeah, good trading for, look at this trading for Apple today. Yes, sir. Hold my beer, says Apple. Right there. What's up, Bradley Taylor? Let's talk about this right now quickly. Are all your scalp setups back tested? Yeah, no, not all of them. Most of my trading actually just comes from, you know, stuff that I'm looking at, part of momentum on the stock, you know, various plays like that. I do back test. I mean, I added the 50 period, but right now, honestly, we always say back test, but I've been around here enough that I sort of have my strategies and I know what I'm doing. So to be honest with you, no, I don't back test everything. I don't even really review my trades every day. I do look back at them when the show's over. I look and say, okay, what did I do? So I do review, but it's not like a deep dive. It's just more like, should have I held? Was there a better entry? Was there a technical indicator that maybe I could have looked at? Should have I maybe been a little more bullish or bearish based on the day and things like that, which is why I was really upset on this trade right here. And I'll tell you why. It's because my mentality for Facebook was that we were going to try to buy some dips. So, you know, when we started to break back up, and at that point, the 50 period was right here. So I got out thinking that we could retrace back to the upside. That bias stopped me from crushing this all the way to the downside, even though just literally minutes before I put this in here, I said, let's wait for some kind of a blowout bottom, which we get on that wick right there. So that really would have been the indication. See, this is what I mean. I panic on one green candle in 1 minute. Like, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a green there. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So there's 13 candles there. Out of the first green one, I'm like, I'm gone. So yeah, so that's kind of the stuff that I review all the time and just try to figure that out. And right now, right back in the money. The People's Trader still has this one. We're barbecuing up profits on DWAC. Now $3 in the money. Let's see if we can ride.
And there's last night when we were going over Facebook, I candidly said I was most concerned this week with Amazon's earnings, oddly enough. And another name that we're going to get the report, but you just showed Google.
Yeah.
Alphabet, upside. Oh. Amazon is getting smoked, man. Like, it's down 6%, but that's actually bounced off the bottoms handsomely a little bit here. So Amazon looks like it's a bit of a risk off. Remember, the market has been running. Overall, the NASDAQ has been bouncing the upside, and we're still below the lows on Amazon. So there's still some skittishness, I think, in the overall market. Watch out for... that Zila, by the way, back now below VWAP. I got some bids in front of 80, but this could, rejection at 87, that's the level I wanted. Again, I didn't get the ad, unfortunately, that's my mistake. I should have had some at 86 on the curl, I missed it. I think all the way down to 75 is worth a hold. And if DWAC wants to make another move, it has to be 85, right? Like, the only level I want to turn is up at that 85. Double top on the daily chart here on DWAC up at 85. That's the only level I wanted to short. Now here it comes.
And there it is, man. Superman DWAC right now, $4 in the money to the upside. And I just want to talk a little bit about Amazon here, guys. So unlike, this is the thing, like sometimes you can sort of, look, I'm long Amazon. I remember getting mocked for buying it at 1,000 and people are like, what are you doing buying that at $1,000? Anyways, look, so this is the March. Remember we talked about Facebook just getting back to March lows? I mean, Amazon is still couple $100 lower than these March bottoms. And we're just talking about March 2021, not 2020. So, you know, that's Amazon's in a much more world of a hurt than Facebook. So, yeah, I'm very, very nervous about this quarter. Although I think that there's some nice tailwinds with Amazon. Obviously, I think Alexa, they have a whole bunch of new products. Their Fire TVs and things like that have expanded. But obviously, I would have loved to sell out of my Amazon anywhere around 3,200 or something like that on those recent pops would have been great. Should have been more forward thinking about the Amazon short there a while ago. But I think it's too late now. You're already bleeding on Amazon, and I expect a horrible report as well. But that's just par for the course. I have no idea what the stock is going to do. What's up, Brendo?
CFVI, I looked at this when it was at 12, kind of consolidating and thought, that should probably go further. So there you go. CFVI up 5% now as well.
Ooh. Yeah, CFBI, Funware, it doesn't really matter. 85 is approaching rather quickly, although DWAC, it just turned at 84 even. And again, like I keep saying, it's just, you have to follow your rules. You're going to go against the grain on something like this with that kind of momentum, then the risk reward has to be right. So if it turns here, then I don't mind that we might possibly miss it. Roblox, by the way, you guys are pointing out here. Oh, give me a break. Roblox, load. This is happening in Roblox right now. Roblox just fell $5, breaking through 60 even. It looks like it was a short seller report, the Bear Cave or something like that, just a few minutes ago. And then Roblox just broke down, so $60. Daily chart doesn't want to load up on Roblox, but Roblox just got absolutely smacked from a high of 65 right into the 60 level that you're seeing right here, right now. Brennan, do you have it?
Yeah.
Bear Cave, as you mentioned there, the actual report. So I'm going to find a link for this and see if I can throw it up in the chat. But this is pretty extensive, you have to say. Like, there's a lot in here. So I'm going to read through this and see what they don't like about Roblox, guys.
They love Roblox. That's the difference. They want to get long at $50. These guys are crooked, and I guarantee you that report is BS. So take it for what it's worth right there. I would be a buyer of Roblox, but I'm going to wait for lower on that name. These guys are jokers, man. There's a reason why Citron stopped this. It's because it's too easy to read through these guys, honestly. Okay, thank you so much, Michael, member for 4 months. And Bradley Taylor, thank you for the nice words, man. Great work, and I like this one, Henry. What's up? The Bang Bang Gang. So I like that one. Thank you so much for that one. There's the Roblox report. Thank you so much. Yeah, hell yes, Sean Crooks. You're right, Tyrone. They're all crooks. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Daniel, as well. Good call there. Sean's got it all sniffed out. Not all of it, but most of it. Like I said, my opinions are mine and mine own, but that's what we're doing. And what also we're doing is the diamond. How about the diamond hand gang here on DWAC? As right now, man, this is mine. It's actually Facebook's gonna be my #1 stock, but this could be #2 as we are, like Neil said, fast approaching 85. And your boy has this at 80, guys. This is why we are the people's champion. And you can go right there. We trade this out. $5 now in the money for DWAC. See ya. $86 now on watch. So watch out for DWAC going to the upside right now. $6 in the money. Man, we're liking this one. I don't have any plans of getting out on this. I mean, this could come all the way back in. Let's just have fun with DWAC. We know there's a huge, I don't know if there's a huge short interest. We try to do this.
Float, remember, it's not short interest with DWAC. It's the float. It's a small float.
Yeah.
There's actually no short interest data on this stock, remember?
No, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, there's no short interest data on this stock, so you got to watch out for that. But there probably is people loaded up short.
Well, I'm sure there are.
But there it is, a nice little break to the upside there, 86 and change. We're just going to hold this all day, man. I think we could touch 90 something. So we've seen DWAC do this. Nice little move in the money, $6 in the money. So yes, sir, backflips over here. And now it's sector watch time with Brendo. And the board actually doesn't look too bad. I'm interested in what that top blue one is there, the top left. What's up, Brendo?
I know I'd be.
Wait, Your left. Yeah, right. This one is DXC, 12%. Yeah, the software group kind of getting saved by that. Earnings were a little bit better than expected, but otherwise you can see red. Yeah, very red right across the board for the tech group today, including hardware equipment makers and the semiconductor group. Healthcare stocks, on the other hand, down there, a little bit better than expected, I would say, on a day like this. You can see HOM, BDX, MCK leading the way there, about 4%, all three to the upside. These two are the main problem on the day. Facebook and Twitter, 5.5%, 23% still there for FB. T-Mobile over there, on the other hand, we talked about as well very briefly, almost 10% to the upside for T-Mobile, having a great day. Discovery and Viacom being dragged along with it. Industrial stocks pretty choppy so far today. You guys were talking about Amazon to come still this week, 6% to the downside there for Amazon leading the way in the consumer discretionary group. We mentioned Ralph Lauren, 5% off of a decent report as well. So overall, very choppy back and forth kind of day, but we are still down, guys. 1.08 on the S&P. Back to you.
All right, let's just hit the home run for Roblox. I mean, I don't have it, but preach on, man. I mean, I just said that was a completely BS report without even reading it, without even knowing who put it out or anything on Roblox. And look at this, man. You're up now $2 from that bottom. So hopefully some of you believed in that. I mean, I don't know. I was busy watching DWAC. And plus, I didn't know. Like I said, I want to read something like that before we actually get into that right now. But there it goes, man. Straight up to the upside here goes Roblox off what was, I believe, without reading it, somebody that's just trying to get long Roblox near the bottom. So congratulations on that report. What a surprise. It comes out the day that Meta is in question. Like, give me a break, guys. Like, puff, pass on that one.
Yeah, and I thought I paid for DWAC shorts. I'm like 99.9% sure. Apparently I didn't. I had to scramble. When it finally got to 85, there was no curl. It tried to break higher. It got to $87, so we're in the pocket that I want to short the reversal. It ticked up to 86, 85. I tried to hit it right here, and then by the time I paid for the shorts, we're already down $1. I'm not chasing it. Again, it's all about risk to reward here, and I'm not going to chase a short once I've missed out on what, to me, half of your gain is getting that quick little curl there. And it's the same thing as GameStop, right? Like, if what I'm going to be doing when you get that top is look at the curl and then immediately get some out, then take the next leg down. Well, if you miss the first portion of it and then start chasing, if it makes a consolidation, then bounces higher, suddenly you're too far away from your out. And then it breaks 87, and then what are you doing? You're losing that $2 in the trade when you were trying to capture $2.50. So I don't think we're going to be done with DWAC by any stretch of the imagination. Certainly still on the move. The market did try, like we said, the market did try to bounce to the upside. One of the names that did try to go, if I can get to Square here, was Square. Ignore this wick here. It never really got back to the 110. I'm still, and I'll probably be here all day long on that in front of 102. If the market makes a harsh reversal, this is one of the levels that, because of the double bottom it put in on the daily and the 15, 102 is going to be worth defending on Square. Even if the market's kind of like falling apart, I'd probably have that tight stop to the lows that we saw earlier in the week, which is just below 102 on block. But hey, we teed it up. We've got our guest of the day. Let's go to the desk with Brendan.
All right, thanks, guys. Yeah, we are going to the esports space today, and specifically Guild Esports, as we said, co-owned by none other than Mr. David Beckham. Cal Howard is CEO of the company and joins us on the show today to give us a little bit of a look at Guild Esports. Very interesting space, exploding in popularity over the past couple of years. Great to have you, Cal. Give us a little insight here on the company.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I love your show. You know, the esports industry continues to grow by double digits year over year. We believe 2 to 5 years, and we believe that Guild could be one of those top orgs. You know, specifically looking at the UK, we saw on an unserviced market, and we really believe that you know, if an investor wanted esports in their portfolio, there's not a lot of options. You know, so we chose to go the public route and list on the London Stock Exchange main market. We are using that investment to grow fast. And we believe that you know, building a loyal fan base and a brand that our brand partners care about is going to lead to success. You know, and today, we're sitting with 8.4 million in contracted revenue in just 1 year as a listed company. We've got an owned audience of over 1 million now, and a total network reach of 15 million, and that's creating media value, and the brands are getting excited, and we've got more brands at advanced stages in our pipeline than we've ever had. So we just believe it's an awesome space for investors to consider, and Guild, I think, is poised for a great 2022.
Let's talk a little bit about the individual portions of this business, because we're talking esports, we're talking professional athletes in the esports industry. There's an entertainment division. There's also an apparel division as well. Let's dive into the individual sections of the business here and let these viewers know what they need to know.
Yeah, sure. So, our business, we make money primarily from sponsorship revenue, and the brands care about eyeballs, and they care about reach, and we've grown from literally 0 followers to a network of over 15 million now. Obviously, David Beckham's influence is a huge help, but we're growing and building a brand that those partners care about. We're launching merchandise, which creates revenue. We've got an esports division that has won 4 trophies already, and that's not easy to do. And we're continuing to knock it out of the park in terms of esports. And I think what I'm most excited about is our academy. We launched a Guild Academy last summer, and what it is a path to pro system. I think anyone that's watching this has kids that, if you've got kids that play a particular traditional sport, you know how to get them involved at an early age, and you know how to help them progress with their passion. And as far as video games go, other than the levels in the particular game, there is no path to pro system, and that's what we're building. And the kids are gravitating to Twitch and YouTube and watching pros and content creators, watching them play video games more than ever before. And I think it creates incredible opportunity for these kids. We're looking at it from a holistic perspective, so it's not all grind in the video game hour after hour. It's looking at it from how are their sleep habits and their health, their nutrition, focusing on school and physical activity, and we believe that all of that does lead to improved in-game performance. These kids are signed up to a subscription model, so Guild is pulling in £5 a month on that. We're able to turn these kids into loyal fans and create a tribal loyalty in the business, and we're able to grab the cream of the crop, the top performers that have a chance to go pro, and sign them to contracts, and they could potentially play on a Guild roster, or we could transfer them in the transfer market, and that's additional revenue. So there's a lot to this, but in a short year we've come a long ways, and 2022 is looking very exciting.
I love that concept of providing the path to more success, I guess, for the younger generations, looking for a way to maybe get involved in a greater manner, but just don't have the information that is needed to do so. So on that note, the company just leased a brand new space in London over in the UK to, I guess, become the headquarters for this training. Tell them about that.
Yeah, so we signed a lease on a 3-story building in a very trendy neighborhood at the tech hub in London, an area called Shoreditch, and this is going to be not only our headquarters and training ground for our pros, but it is also the physical academy location. So these academy subscribers, academy students that have performed well and have a chance of going pro are, then invited to the physical space where they're training alongside our pros. It's very close to a traditional Premier League academy model, and we're really excited about that. But I guess what's most exciting from the CEO's perspective is the revenue opportunities that come with having an asset like a headquarters, like this building, and the commercial opportunities in terms of naming rights on that building. Naming rights for the individual rooms within the building. It's really an investment, and it's going to really pay for itself and bring in a significant profit for the company in 2022 and beyond.
You mentioned the sponsorship side of the business to kick things off here. I'll throw out a few numbers here. Pretty impressive, $4.5 million or £1,000,000 sponsorship, I should say, with Bitstamp. Even a deal with PlayStation for FIFA 2022 for an actual tournament. That's a big name, obviously, to be involved with.
Yeah, you know what? We couldn't be more proud with how far we've come in one short year. And to be completely honest, I thought we're going to come, deliver a lot more. But we're positioned to do that in 2022. We've signed deals with some of the biggest brands on the planet. Subway, Samsung, HyperX, and most recently Bitstamp is the longest running cryptocurrency exchange on the planet, and we're just going to continue to add to that. In addition to our partnerships, we're also doing a lot of activations, and the big brands trust us, and they're using us as a vehicle to reach that very difficult to reach Gen Z audience, that those esports fans. So we couldn't be more proud with what we've built so far. We're just getting started, and very, very excited and optimistic about 2022 and beyond.
It's an exciting time to be in this industry because it's, as we said, an exploding one every day almost. It's great to have Cal Howard, CEO of Guild Esports. Check them out, guys. Listed over in London on the LSE. You can see GILD, ticker at the bottom of the screen there. Thanks for doing this, Cal. We look forward to an update.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Have a great day. Guild Esports, guys.
I mean, an absolutely fantastic interview. Thank you so much, Brendan. The thing, I know Trader Prad's all about esports, so he'll talk about that. But the thing that I think that we didn't really, I think metaverse is also like esports being involved in the metaverse. I think esports has a nice runway as well for more upside potential in esports. I mean, people can put on the Oculus and maybe they can like be involved with their team, with different teams, different people. It's awesome. I didn't realize.
Can you imagine being in a game watching? You're watching the game and you're you're watching others play, but you're watching inside the game.
And I didn't realize there's like a transfer fee and things like that. I feel we are talking about like premiership and all that stuff all over again. So awesome. I like that guest.
Well, you remember this, like at our old trading floor, we were at a different location before, and the bar which was right next door, obviously right? Trading floor next to this bar, so it became the trading floor's bar. But they converted to an esports, so we lost them, and then that's what they became a few years back, and it's
then
growing.
You had to go and have your chicken quesadillas and watch esports.
Oh, it was bad, man. Like I was eating we go to the same bar almost like 2 or 3 times a week after. You shouldn't do this, but anyways, after the close at 4 o'clock. And I'm, get a pint and the quesadillas because that was my favorite. I was eating, for the first couple of years of my trading life, I was eating chicken quesadillas from the sports cafe like 2 or 3 times a week. It was out of control, man. Eventually your metabolism catches up with you and you have to live better. But the market's still moving, by the way, and falling back a little bit here, Sean.
I was going to say, the good thing is already we're getting a lot of feedback here from our audience looking to buy that stock. So go ahead. It is on the pink sheets. So we did have that symbol up for you. And then it was
primary in London,
LSE listed. So you will have to talk to your broker or whatnot if you can get access to those markets. And then maybe, the listing is already there. So if you do have access to OTC markets, get going on that one. Okay, so the only position I have here is DWAC, and it's just whacking back and forth, not doing much right now. 84, 86, 84, 86. It only tested up here once, blew up to 86. 87, like $7, man. We had $6 in the money, almost $7 in the money on DWAC, which is like 8.5% or so on 80. So a nice move up for DWAC, and we didn't even take it. So let's wait to see where that goes right now. I see Snapchat at 52-week lows, already taking that out at 20. Oh my God, Snapchat's 52-week low, guys, was $28. And we're already at 25. That's an embarrassingly low number there. Pinterest down 8% again. Names are just getting a little ugly here, but this is why I'm pretty happy that we got out of Square here. We did miss that dollar on the bump up, but look what's happening right now. Square bouncing off 104 and change. I see Randy over there. Someone else is yelling Ford like crazy. So there he is. What's up? We'll look at Ford in a minute, but I believe that was Brendan. What's up, bud?
Yeah, let's get you up to date on what you need to know as far as earnings are concerned. Another big day coming through for earnings reports after market tonight and before the open tomorrow, guys.
Who's in the middle and getting down 6.5% today? Of course, like I said, look, I don't think Amazon necessarily pulls the move at Facebook because 20% is huge, but this was the one that we were concerned more about, I think, this week, and it's going to come through. Pinterest, Snapchat, we talked about already down pretty heavily, and Activision, of course, just keep in mind, earning reports matter when there's a deal, but it's a cash deal, but it's a huge spread. It's not trading anywhere near the buyout price, which does mean it can move on earnings. A lot of times you'll ignore earnings on a buyout. I don't think you can this time with Activision because the market is pricing in that there's one chance in 3 that the Activision deal doesn't go through. And that's not insignificant. I think a lot of people think it's not going to happen.
Oh man, sorry, I'm trying to get this Unity chart to load because it didn't IPO here. Back in November, so no. Unity here, let's just use this chart instead. Here, I'll go with my e-signal chart. So here we go, let's just pull this out a little bit. Unity coming to report, right? So they've had a very, very rough ride here as it goes. This is Unity, right? Yeah, Unity, there it is, Unity software. A big move to the upside right here, okay? But look at it fade right in, man. The high is 200, and you go all the way down into 90 and change here on Unity. So I believe that, again, if you are a fan of Metaverse, if you are a fan of, possibly, Microsoft should have bought Unity, not Activision. There's a lot. I'm definitely, as you could tell, against that Microsoft purchase, but whatever. I'm only a shareholder of Microsoft, not of Activision and not of Unity. So I'm not I'm talking up Unity there, but I like that name heading into the metaverse. Unity, you can create games, make games, whatever you want with that Unity software. And a lot of popular games did get coded with Unity. And my kid can code with Unity, and he's 10. So if it's that easy for him, obviously he's just making stick figures and stuff. But I do like that, and I think that that's a play. So I'm down with Unity, but you can't be down with it too much because it's just one of those names. No profit, there's not much to go on here. It's an Aunt Kathy special, so we know what the market's probably going to do to this one tomorrow, as it's just been straight fire to the dumpster fire to the downside for Unity. But that's a name that I'm going to be looking at tomorrow. Obviously, the spread is a little bit spicy. As here we go, DWAC, starting to get back up to the upside. We're just holding this one name, and I do plan on holding this all day. So let's see if we can take back out 87 on D to the W, A to the C.
Oh, and we never want to ignore positions that we're in, but a lot of times, if you watch the show enough, if one of these small caps starts to sort of die down, break VWAP, and continue to fade, I just kind of hang on to it. There was a bigger move in Zila just now, just we're doing the interview, kind of capitulated through this support at 81, went all the way down to 79, so the flush might be in. I really missed the boat on that 87 re-entry or add to on Zila. Definitely a good short up there. Do watch out. You'll see CFI moving, DWAC going to be moving. There's a heck of a lot going on here today, and it's been an absolutely fun show. And you guys are going to have even more fun when we send you guys to Market Movers with Trader Prad. Platinum Prad, he is now. And thank you guys so much. By the way, the plan went perfectly yesterday, and the 3,000 was no trouble getting to the 3,000 likes. So thank you so much. Prad is very excited to be going Platinum Blonde when Ms. V comes back. And Arun, I know we're talking about Square. Arun was trading Square today. And you guys are going to be really excited to see who was able to pull off there because Square, a big-time mover today.
Yeah. Very excited to see that. We also made some money on Square as well, and we're going to get right back into Snapchat as this was a good trade for us here today to the downside. So let's just play off this. And I was just thinking to myself, look, man, Snapchat is going to miss tonight. They're not going to beat. So with that being said, is the price going to be lower or higher than where we are right now, right? So we're going to go short right now. We're already short at 55. Watch Snapchat as we get ready to throw you right now. Let's go over, Lucas, to Market Movers. Let's go. Thank you for watching. It's Market Movers, Arun and Trader Prad.
All right, welcome to the Platinum Prad and the Arun Show. We are here, obviously, to cover the market for you on a Thursday, February 3rd. So any questions, any stocks moving, make sure to put them in. What's up, Arun? How's your day so far?
Hey, man, markets are down. So you got to look at some shorts. We talked about this off the top there. There was some stocks that were moving hard. Facebook, obviously, in the news, everybody was looking at it. So we'll go